Hello and welcome back to The House That Happens, recorded live at Shuey's Bar and Grill, the only place to be in suburban Etobicoke, voted 4 times the best dive bar in all Ontario, and you know it's number 1 in our hearts. Hi, my name's Andrew Milani.
Hi, my name's Cruz.
Cruz, how you doing this week?
Outstanding, outrageous, catalysmic, just the usual way I go through life. Remember, we're promoting civility and positivity.
We try.
At all times. How was your week?
I'm happy it's the weekend, put it that way.
I'm going into a little zone right now where at times I forget what day it is. This is what happens when you move into it. And big shout out to Don and Sam for dragging me out of Etobicoke to go for a couple of beers with my they're my friends. Now, I don't want to call them my ex-workers. They're actually my buddies.
Yeah.
But they dragged me out and said, hey, what are you doing, buddy, besides smoking weed, drinking beer? I said, playing guitar and doing a podcast.
Yeah, and we got some big plans tonight. We plan to watch the Leafs-Bruins game together.
In the man cave, the humble abode, and the only thing we're hoping that's going to happen is that Stanley doesn't screw it up.
I'm planning on wearing one of my older Leaf uniforms.
I think that's a very good idea. Oh, and by the way, speaking of my man cave and stuff like that, I want a big shout out to AJ Hawk and Brian Windhorse, the basketball guy. Mm-hmm. They're both Ohio State boys, so fuck them. But they were talking about watching sports, and they said, sometimes you want an intense game, I watch it by myself. Whoa, that's my middle name. You know what I mean? I watch sports, but I'm going to welcome you over. I think Mama's going to get a couple things together. I think Jody in the house is going to stop by, maybe Brady, but they're going out. They wanted me to go to see an Oasis, tribute? Oasis U2 tribute on the first night of the Stanley Cup playoffs. I went, I'm doing my hair. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm also going to be going to the Marlies game tomorrow, the final regular season game, so that should be fun.
Oh, that's cool. Well, I know when we get to the TFC, a big shout out. Oh, and by the way, big shout out to all the people at San Fran last week. All the guys that did me, give us a hello on the site. Can they just go to the House That Happens on WhatsApp and get in? Can these guys do it, or they have to be invited?
On Facebook, Instagram, anywhere you could just
that's what I said to say hello. Mr. Paul Semenuk, Kevin Pick, thanks for the feedback. And BOH, Andrew Freeman, you were great.
Absolutely.
To the owners, Danny, Moko, and Steve, we'll get you all on the air next time. And yes, we will come back.
Yes, and thank you for your hospitality.
Yes, very much so. It's appreciated. And a bunch of those clowns are going down to the TFC game tonight.
Yes, they play against the New England Revolution.
And they better get a win because I don't want them falling too far back. Already they're like...
Yeah, they're just barely hanging on to that last playoff
there's a lot of games to go, but a win now is as good as a win later in the year. A quarter of the
season's already gone pretty much, right?
There you go. So and the only thing, boys, is I'm going to just ask you this. If we can keep my son, who will know nothing about the game, will not know a player. The only thing he will know is where to go get beer.
And that's the most important thing of all.
That's what I'm saying. In any event, all the guys at San Fran want to shout out to my son Zach for all the work he's done very quickly to put the San Francisco Sluggers on the map.
San Francesco. Oh, my God.
Okay, I'm this bad. The Sluggers on the map, who's play their first game May 7th. I will be the second baseman leadoff hitter and number 59.
59. What's the reasoning behind that?
The year I was born.
Oh, okay.
That's good enough. I usually do 0 or something, but I'm trying to be really incognito. So if I got some kind of designer number you point out, which I used to do when I was younger, like I'd have
59 is kind of a designer number, though.
Is it?
Yeah, anything above like a low number is kind of
okay.
A little like.
I used to go on the field with E = MC square on my back. Got a lot of abuse for that.
I can imagine.
Oh, yeah, I have double zeros, and people used to say, why do you wear double zeros? And I said, that's the amount of games that I'm going to look bad. I'm not saying I was...
I like wearing low numbers.
I just thought I'd do something different. Anyways, big shout out to my son and to all the guys that are going to be playing. Just point out, there'll be 3 seniors on a team of 13 guys.
Let me know when this goes down, because I want to record this. I'll post this on the YouTube channel. I'm dead serious about that.
Okay, we're going to come out. So that's Pedro and John. We're going to show these young bucks that we can just be as hard about this shit as anybody else. You know what I mean?
Love it. Another thing we love here at the House That Happens is, of course, Formula One, and they are in Shanghai, China right now for the Grand Prix. Qualifying was last night. No spoilers, though. I have not seen that yet. Okay. But that sprint
Was good.
It was incredible. That was the best sprint they've done in
a long
3
time?
years. No, ever.
Really?
Well, they've only been doing it for a few years now, so.
What happens if they smack the car up during the sprint? Are they in trouble?
Oh, yeah. They better get that duct tape ready for qualifying.
Because I thought, and you confirmed this before we came on the air, it was one of the more aggressive sprints I've seen.
Right off the hop, Lando and Hamilton battling
Bingo
for
went at it. Yeah.
And Lando a little bit too aggressive going into, turn one there?
Turn one, yes, had the little, but they got back on. What I always sing is that it's always like, to me, I don't know if you ever seen a mountain lion go after a ram. I was in BC one time, we're up in the mountains in BC, Lake Louise, and you see that sheep up in the hill going, bah, bah, and you see the mountain lion going up the thing. So you know somewhere along the way, this guy's hopping this way. Well, I think of Max Verstappen as that mountain lion or that cougar because he just waited.
I wonder who you're referring to in this analogy.
And what did he do?
Yeah.
He did. You know what I mean? So does that mean that his car, the thing is I thought, but it was really late at night when I was watching it. And when I heard that, I thought one of the guys said, this is for the pole position, but it's not.
No.
We got qualifying, which I will go home and watch because we
too.
have it on the air, so it should be interesting. But I thought it was fun to watch because it was more interaction. Is that because of the layout, do you think?
I think part of it, like that, I love the way that China's track is designed.
And it opens up. It gets tight, then it's open up. So that's where Lewis made the move. When the track go, boom, he said, I'm going to go for it right now, and he did. I thought he caught Buddy off guard a bit, making the move that quick, that aggressively, you know what I mean? But it made, you know what, it makes more fun for all those people that say we don't know what's going on in Formula One. Take a look. It should be a great race.
Should be. And shout out to Zhou Guanyu in his home race getting 9th in the sprint.
There you go. Yes, it is.
Not worth the point, but still good result for him, and he desperately needs one. So.
And you know what's really cool about these events, too, is that you see the reactions of the fans, and it's so much different in foreign countries than what we're used to. Like the way we put up signs and yell and scream, but they do things that are kind of like the Pulp Fiction, mayonnaise on their fries in Europe kind of deal. Like they always do things a tad different.
I love mayonnaise on my fries, by the way.
Oh, gee. Okay. By the way, we'll discuss that another time. I haven't eaten yet today. Stop it. But anyways, you know what I'm saying? Like if you see the Chinese fans and how they're going, it looks like they got loose considering they're in a communist state, so to speak. Isn't it interesting? A lot of these races are done in non-democratic countries.
Especially the ones early in the calendar. It's very
money.
It's okay. Pretty soon we'll be back to Europe and North America.
Everything will be back there. I just think I'm learning more every day. Like I learned, like I told you before, like when they said the texture of part of the track, and I'm going, what? I didn't get that at all because then then they went veering off into what tires, soft, hot, cold, and stuff. So I'll look today. I'll listen a little bit more, but people pay attention because this is one of the races that I've seen the way the track's going, and I'm learning that interesting things could go on tonight.
Yeah, and it's the first time they've raced there since 2019. So that's a lot of fun as well.
Yeah, it's 19 because of all the pandemics
COVID
and all. And the Chinese trying to say that they're saving the world. Yeah, right.
Still looking for some more evidence on that front.
It's in Winnipeg. It's in Winnipeg.
Okay. Moving on to one of your favorites, the Masters was last weekend, and Scottie Scheffler won his second green jacket. It was basically top of the piles, top of the leaderboard the whole weekend.
It was absolutely fun, except for the fact that I'm a Morikawa guy who is leading the Heritage this week. Big shout out to Scotty. First of all, this is 2 Masters within 3 years, 27 years old.
Yep.
I wish his wife has had the baby because I wanted to see him leave the course. Not that. I just wanted to see if he's really going to do it. But his talking, I heard he's a man of faith. And he said, which really super impressed me and anybody else, because everybody knows when your time comes, the birth of your child is one of the greatest days of your life. Trust me. And he said, I'll get to play a bunch more Masters, but there's only one first-time birth of your child. I respected that huge. But he didn't have to go there. He won anyway.
Sure.
You know what was really cool, though, was the Amen Corner. I don't know if you're talking about it, but it's 11, 12, and 13. The course won, by the way. Augusta won this week. With the winds, the weather, Augusta won because look at that 3 major winners, Wyndham Clark, Brian Harman, and I forget who else. Dustin. All didn't even make the cut, which you'd be careful because the rivalry between Liv And the PGA Tour is still pretty louder than you realize. Like Wyndham Clark going to the table and said, I don't really think these guys are going to be that good because they haven't golfed 72. They've only golfed 54. Immediately misses the cut and goes home after 36. So, buddy, be careful what you say. You know what I mean? So, and another thing that intrigued me is that Greg Norman, the pariah to the PGA, was there as a paid patron. They weren't letting him in. I don't know how he got a ticket. He's persona non grata at any of these big PGA events. But if a guy buys a ticket and comes on, which left Phil Mickelson for the second year in a row not saying 10 words at the Masters champion dinner.
I know he's not the most liked man either.
Well, it's very interesting because if you look after the performance, I thought Morikawa and the kid Aberg from Sweden, everybody pay attention to this kid. He's coming on. His first Masters, he was in top 5. What happened was really neat is when you got to Amen corner, guys all went to make their move, and 2 of them went into the drink. And Max Homa, everyone was cheering for because he's been so good over the past, he's had his issues. He put one into this weird shrub that usually it rolls out and it doesn't. He got flustered and put one in the water, so he went from being tied to 3 back in a matter of like seconds.
And there's your weekend.
And then Scotty took it home. You know what I mean? So it was great. There's one little note that we have to bring up because it always seems to come up this way when we're talking about golf, and that's Tiger Woods. Okay? Guy broke the record for consecutive cuts at the Masters, which we said last week, we mentioned it, but what made it even more interesting is somehow he ended up with Neil, what's the kid's name? Neil Shipley. And Neil Shipley has the luckiest luck in the world because he ended up being low amateur and the only amateur to make the cut at the Masters. But here's why he's even luckier. The Dunlap guy who won the tournament early in the year, at the Genesis early in the year as a amateur, turned pro. So if this guy didn't win that event and turn pro, this Neil Shipley wouldn't even have got a chance at the Masters, okay? Now, what ends up happening is he gets to walk 18 holes with Tiger Woods. Him and his buddy on the last round. And this kid was so, I'm not saying he opened a door into Tiger Woods, but he said the way that Tiger treated him, he said after 6 or 7 holes, it was just going out with somebody new that you knew that really liked golf and you were enjoying the round. I thought that was cool.
What day was this on?
This was on Sunday, the last round, because Tiger did come in last.
So after, last of those who made the cut.
Yeah.
So this was after the infamous picture of Tiger Woods shaking hands with the tree.
Oh, yeah. Oh, exactly. But that was so bad because let's big shout out to Vern Lindquist, who has done the Masters for 40 years now? Or 50 years, and he was there for all the great Tiger moments. I thought it was really classy of Tiger to go over and recognize the guy.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, when Tiger plays, how come he sweats more than anybody else? Medication. Medication.
But we're not gonna talk.
God
about
bless
that.
Tiger. I know. Just get out there again. He said he's going to be back at the PGA. But here's the final thing I'm going to say. Scotty Scheffler is amazing, and everyone says, is he going to win 2 or 3 majors this year? Is he the next greatness? Is he going to take over? Stop it right now. Let's just see what happened in the last 10 years. Didn't we have Spieth win a bunch in a row? Oh my God, Spieth's going to be the man. Where is he lately? Rory McIlroy shows up, wins 3 in a row. His dad wins $1 million on betting he'll win the British Open before he's 25, which he did. Where's Rory McIlroy? Hasn't won a major in almost 9 years.
It hasn't won the Masters.
And never has won the Masters. Oh, by the way, JT, Tiger's good buddy, Justin Thomas, another guy on the rise. This guy's going to be a superstar, wins a couple of majors. Everyone gets his attention. Where is he at today? Struggling to get there. So just remember this, as we like to say on the house that happens, there's only one Steph Curry. There's only one Wayne Gretzky. There's only one Tiger Woods. Let's just hope that these guys perform on a level that really excite us and we can see excellence, but don't just start saying they're going to come down the road to be the greatest things in sliced bread. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
That's all.
We'll take that to one of the greatest rivalries in all of sports right now, Canada-U.S. for women's hockey. Canada pulling off the gold medal in a tremendous back-and-forth affair, 6-5 in overtime. Marie-Philippe Poulin, 2 goals in that one.
Huge.
Canada pulling off the gold medal, and Hillary Knight of the States becoming the most decorated women's player in history.
Congratulations.
So big shout out to her.
Yeah, big shout out to her. Too bad you're a Yank, but that's another story. I'll just say that. In any event, you're right. You know what? And this is where the emergence of women's sports is getting so amazing, is the fact that this American women and Canadian women competition, I might think it might be just as strong as the guys.
Sure.
when it comes to being
maybe
on
even
rival.
more intense, you could argue.
Yeah, because then you have to get through those games where the Americans are beating the Japanese 9-1. And Canada beating a bunch of girls that have nice hair, like 15-2. But it's going to come out of the funnel and land here. And I just want to say this. Sometimes I wish that I seen a very intense NHL game get handled by the referees who handled this game. Now, the word is they're not supposed to hit, right? Is there no hitting or what?
Those rules are bent for Canada in the States.
Oh, it has to be because, like, the pace of the game and the incidental contact, is that what I'm going to call it, was ferocious. What made the game even more exciting, and I hate to put this part into it, is that the goalie sucked.
Maybe the shooters were just really good.
You can't shoot right through the logo. Our Canadian girl let one go right through the logo. That hurt. I thought there was a couple of weird penalties because people ran into each other like Poulin. She got, the American girl wasn't looking, ran right into her. Poulin had to go to the penalty box. I rewound that 3 times. I look, what happened there? But she comes out of the penalty box and does what? Scores 2 goals. So it was very good. Congratulations.
Third gold medal in the last 4 tournaments for Canada. And it was getting scary there because the States won 8 in a row at one point.
Oh, yes, they did. But and the thing about it, though, is like you said, this could be, because it's not talked about because we're always talking about the men's, but this could be, of all the rivalries and all the sports in North America, it's definitely top 10. It's not Ohio State, Michigan yet, but I think it could be starting to be talked about in that vein after so many years of, both teams making it to the finals.
Yeah.
Olympics, World Championships.
Sure.
Congratulations to our girls.
Congratulations, and that means the PWHL is back up. And Toronto, Boston were back in action on Thursday, so everyone plays everyone once more. That's playoff time
already, eh? It does look
Toronto going to be able to choose their first round opponent.
The talk on that from a lot of other sports is amazing. Like everyone says, why don't we do it in more sports? Because that creates instant rivalry, animosity, or anything you want.
Although I think Toronto's just going to go with the team that's number 4, which is Ottawa right now. I can't imagine them choosing anyone else.
Well, because the Steve Simmons and the Brian Hayes and the Jaron Dreggers and all those guys are going to say, that's a great thing to pick your own team. And then they're going to say, but don't ruffle the feathers. Take Ottawa. You know what I mean? So it takes a little bit out of it.
Well,
wouldn't you like it if it was the men's team and then Toronto had a chance to pick and they could take Montreal or Arizona?
Oh, that'd be fun.
Oh, my God. It would be amazing. So,
you mean Utah now. We'll get to that later.
Yes. But in any event, you know what I'm saying? It's cool that the women are doing this. I don't know how it's going to play out because it's the first season that we get here. 2 things I'm hoping for: attendance, bums in the seats, and eyes on the screen. We'll see at the end of the playoffs.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. We'll take this from women's hockey to women's basketball WNBA draft. Caitlin Clark, shocker of all shockers, goes number 1 to Indiana Fever, I believe they're called.
Yes.
All her merchandise sells out almost immediately, and she just nailed an 8-figure endorsement deal with Nike. So obviously a big congratulations to Caitlin Clark. Cameron Brink of Stanford went number 2 to LA. Camila Cardozo went number 3 to Chicago. Our Canadian girl, Aaliyah Edwards, from UConn, went number 6 to Washington, and Angel Reese, number 7 to Chicago. So Chicago with Cardoso and Angel Reese, that could be a good combo.
The ratings went up 300% for the draft in 1 year. Okay, so let's discuss this whole Caitlin Clark situation. I hope every women's basketball player on the planet respects her for bringing more eyes and more money to the table.
Thank you very much.
Yes, because I know I hear there's a little bit of rumblings online and people saying some stuff that
it's obnoxious.
I'm glad I'm not online that much, but I think it's next level obnoxious, and I'm not going to say anything about anybody's anything.
Race.
Okay, you said it, not me, because I'm usually the one that gets in trouble for this. But I mean, this isn't a hunt. She's not a trophy that you're going to go out and hunt down when you start playing in the WNBA.
Some reporters might.
It's just awful. You should. You know what that's going to do? That's going to bring more sponsors to your table. Because here's the great thing that's kind of irritating some of these girls, and this is just the way the game is played. What's her name last year who came out of South Carolina? She got a big Nike deal too. What's her name? I didn't write it down. I forget. Anyways, she got a deal that's compatible to what Caitlin Clark got. There's a number of reasons why I think it went that way and Caitlin Clark didn't get more, but we'll discuss that on a show exclusively designed to other things that we don't usually like to talk about.
Okay.
In any event, she's got this. Her merchandise is sold out. So what's going to happen here? But that's mostly for the team. But I mean, she made enough money on NIL to go with it. But what really is, I think, kind of irks these people is she's going to come into the league as a millionaire. Okay? The average salary in the WNBA is what? Coming into the league? $87,000. If she puts more seats in the more bums in the seats and the ratings go up and more sponsors want to get their name on this, then girls, maybe you're going to get your thing, they'll get up to 150, maybe 200,000. So let's take this. They should take this golden goose and appreciate it.
I just want to talk about the fake outrage, too, when people saw what her entry-level contract looks like. They're like, oh, she's making only that much? The men who are rookies make this much. It's like, do these people not know economics?
No, you're exactly fake outrage.
And it's these people like, what, are you going out there supporting the WNBA game? Then fuck right off.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And
my God.
And I don't feel sorry for nobody. Okay, first of all,
you're playing basketball for 4 months and are making pretty good salary, and you have an opportunity to make more in Europe in the off season, right?
Even though that's getting a little weird with the Brittany Griner thing, because the biggest leagues aren't paying them. Like, nobody's going to Russia now.
That's true.
Okay, so things like that, but that's what I'm saying.
But there's money to be made in like France and those countries.
Oh
too.
yeah, and Turkey and Israel. Even though I don't know if you want to go to Israel right now either.
Italy too, I think.
Yeah, and Italy too. But I mean, she's raising all the boats right now.
Absolutely.
And I think it's very significant that she did that. And a big shout out. I'm going to shout out to him a couple times today. But basically, due to he went to Indiana. And, of course, where is the Pat McAfee show based? In Indianapolis. So what did he do? He immediately had her on, taking shots on the show with the basket like he does, asking pertinent questions. But the whole crew on his show, which I respect in this way, was pumping her up, not because she was a girl. It was a level of competition that we strive to say, this is why we're doing this podcast. This is why we have the House That Happens. They stressed that first. Look what she has done to the level of competition. And I was like, you know what I mean? Big shout out, had her on, had her parents with her. And what was the coolest thing, they all alluded to the fact that Caitlin's got a little bit of a mouth on her there out in the court. Everybody knows that. So they had to bring it up. And I love Dad just looking over. Oh, Ma's good looking. Mama's good looking too. Great parents. But anyways, Dad just looked up and the guy did the shout up just like the dad did in the game. You seen that game, man. We brought it up before, you know, like, and that's pretty cool. Like if somebody else had did it, there would probably been something like, but that's your dad saying, daughter, shut the front door. You know, which is cool, considering the other thing that we have to bring up concerning Caitlin.
Oh, boy, that weird-ass not the press conference.
Greg Doyle,
the reporter. He was weird. Doyle. Weird is an understatement.
I don't
creepy.
Creepy.
Yeah.
Cringeworthy.
Yes. Lots of that.
I wonder what his wife said to him when he went home. Now.
Maybe he got slapped in the face. I don't know.
I think more, too. We went to the doghouse. With the dog and Milk Bones. You go there for a while and don't talk to our children.
Yeah,
now,
if you don't know, Caitlin Clark, she does like the Hart thing with her hands. And it basically gives her a question like, I hope you do that with me someday.
Oh, my God. It was, and you know what? The guy doubled down on his stupidity.
With the questions
With the questions that kept going, like it just got worse. But
you got the keys to this. What are you going to do with that?
Oh, it was awful. And
that's so cringe.
He tried to come on and have an apology the next day.
I heard.
Yeah, and he tried to say that he was trying to present this in a humorous fashion. And I'm going, buddy.
Know your audience, buddy.
No. Think about what you're saying. Like he could have he could have alluded to it in 1,000 ways. Not in a way that made everybody that heard it cringe to the max. Some people said he should have got fired.
I've heard that.
You know what I mean? He should have got fired. Now, I don't know if it was a fireable offense because he didn't do anything offensive, but it sounded pretty obnoxious.
Yeah, I mean, well, he's going to get the sex pervert label after that.
Oh, no doubt about it. You know, there you go with your career, buddy. How do you feel about this now? You know?
I don't know. That's just like so unprofessional. That caught me off guard.
Frozen, the first time I seen him, whatever show and goes, they kind of alluded to like this. Like, I don't know how people are going to feel about the Caitlin Clark press conference, but perhaps maybe we'll put it on there and you have your opinion of it. I was cringing within 15 words of that guy talking. As soon as he says, well, if you do this for, what did he say? What? Ugh. I'm surprised,
Caitlin and the coach, they handled it with class.
Amazing,
so
amazing. God bless to her. Good luck to her career in the NBA and WNBA. And let's hope that they do get more bums in the seats and more eyes on the product for each and every person out there that's involved in this fake outrage.
Yes. WNBA also made an announcement that they're looking to expand with Toronto as a potential candidate.
Okay, so that's Larry Tannenbaum.
Yes, sir.
Supporting, so we're going to give him
I was going to say MLSC, but we all know it was Rogers that told him to go fly a kite when it came to the WNBA.
Oh, which tells you there's an issue
somewhere
in the
hierarchy. Jury, we know that they...
Oh, yeah, they've had...
Because jury basically told the MLSE board, I want in on this WNBA thing, and Ted Rogers Jr., whatever, told him, fly a kite.
Yeah, go back to, go get us better players or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's, I don't know. I just think it's so weird that we got an opportunity to do something this good for a sport that's trying to rise, and we get all this extra on the side. You know what I mean?
What would you want to call the Toronto team?
I was thinking about that a long time, and I think it should be something like indigenous to the city of Toronto or the GT area. Like we could call it the Toronto Raccoons.
I was thinking about that, the Toronto Trash Pandas.
Oh, the Trash... Oh, we're in the same league. That's what I'm saying. Something along... Yeah, the Trash Pandas would be pretty
I feel like it's going to be something lame like the Toronto Freedom or something.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, maybe not with the Freedom Convoy. Maybe they
No. They won't go there. But I'm thinking that there's going to be some marketing guru who comes in and tries to make it one of those words like the Magic or the Heat. And because Toronto's a cool city, so we'll do... No, let's go with the Trash Pandas.
I like Trash Pandas. I think that's fun.
The House That Happens is going to campaign for the girls' team because they all like stuffed animals.
Sure.
You know what I mean? We could have some at the game. Great mascot. I want to wear the suit.
Yeah.
Okay? And anyways, the House That Happens is officially going to put forward the name for the... We should even use that on the hockey team.
Sure.
If they need a name, let's throw it. Either one, okay. So we're going to throw that out there. We're going to get on some sites and say that, and then, maybe bring us some recognition. The Trash Pandas. I love it. That's better than the Raccoons because I was trying to think of something to go with Raccoons, and Squirrels is no good.
No.
You know what I mean? And I thought about pigeons, something to do with pigeons.
Maybe like Moose and Squirrel or something.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I thought about pigeons and birds, but we already got the Blue Jays. And we already went out on the limb with the Raptors, which I'm glad we do because Raptors' great logo now. I mean, it's a great moniker.
Great brand, yeah.
Yeah, great to speak about. Good luck to whatever it is.
Yep.
And may we hope that within, it won't be next season, but they're looking for the 25-26 season, isn't it?
Yeah, well, Toronto, we sold out the preseason game, which is, insane.
Papered.
You think so?
I'm percentage, corporate money. Give the idea.
I'm not
Tannenbaum,
sure about
pulling strings. Because you have, if nobody showed up, will we be talking about this?
No, absolutely not.
Why do they not have NFL games at the Dome anymore?
Well, no, it's
because
the Jays kicked out everyone else. That's why.
Oh, agree. But at the time, why the contract wasn't renewed? Because it was a bad deal. The room was mostly papered. When they had to pull out the House of Cards, what happened?
Yeah.
Everything collapsed. I don't want that to be the case with the WNBA coming to Toronto. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know. I need to see more evidence of that.
Okay.
We'll keep this in women's sports for one little bit. Have you heard the Ronda Rousey podcast? I don't know what you call that. The go round, the carousel, whatever it is.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that thing before.
Either way, she's pissed.
Okay.
And maybe not with the best reasons.
Okay, so I'm going to say this, but full disclosure, I've always thought that Ronda Rousey was a fraud from the get-go. Continue.
So she's basically saying how, it's the excuse train about why she lost the Holly Holm fight and, saying that she got treated poorly in WWE, which I thought they gave her a big event right off the hop in WWE. But
she wasn't that good.
That's what I've heard.
She wasn't that good.
Sounds like her MMA career.
Oh, God, she wasn't that good. As soon as she fought a real fighter, what happened? She fought little girls that didn't hit hard.
Yeah.
Holly Holmes can hit hard. Well, guess what happened? The other girl that she fought after, that's a champion. What's her name?
Nunez? The Brazilian one?
Oh, yeah. That was a whipping. They should shut up.
Nunez is an animal.
Oh, yeah. And
I respect what Ronda did for the sport, obviously. She brought a lot of eyes, brought a lot of attention to it.
But you see, when I took a look over, too, one of the things that told me is that when I seen a couple of her fights, I go, I'm thinking she's not that good. And then when she sat on the...
She was in a weak division.
Yeah, and then when real people came out, and when she was on Off the Record, if you remember that show with Michael Landsberg, I love
OTR.
I loved it too. I hope Michael Landsberg's doing okay. I heard
hope so too.
You know what I mean? But is he back on the radio, whatever? But big shout out to Michael Landsberg. I loved OTR. Anyways, he had her on the show because he was a big, he was doing
a big fighting guy,
and wrestling and all that kind of stuff too. And she got on and she was talking and she says, well, you know, I give these girls an opportunity so that they can buy a house for their mother. Or some outrageously cocky off the
high horse lady.
When I heard that, I was immediately said, nah. And you know what? I had no balls the night I was there, the night that Holly got her. We were right here at Chewy's, and I was going to bet beers. They said, Cruz, put your money down. I said, this big girl going to hurt her tonight. And, of course, she had the fandom of fandom and the sexy girl routine and all that stuff. Sure. But, forget about it. The other girls are just as hot, just as nice legs. That's like everything. They're just not an idiot like her. And if we never see her again, that's too soon.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
is her career over?
Oh, it's been over.
Yeah, like she's doing nothing now, right?
Yeah, like it was funny though with the Holly Holm one. She said like, "Oh, I had a concussion." Like she said like she's got no ACL. She's like just making all these excuses, and it's like, why didn't you say this then? Why is this coming up like more than 5 years later?
Oh, because you're defeated now. You're trying to find a way in the back door. What's she gonna do now? Porn or something?
Oh God, that's not nice.
Okay, well she's gonna do something. She's an egomaniac. We know that.
She gonna try going back into movies?
Oh, whatever. She's gonna do something, and I hope that she fares a little bit better than Conor McGregor in this Roadhouse movie.
Everyone's been talking about that.
Good, bad, and ugly.
Yeah,
that's all I've been hearing. You know what I mean? But when we're talking about UFC, just for a second, and I don't watch it. You know what I mean? I don't run there and on there.
Yeah, neither do I.
Okay, but they had their big UFC 300. And it was really explosive that I forget the two fighters, but the Max Holloway was one of the guys, and the other guy was the veteran champion. And how they went mano to mano in the last minute of the fifth round and say one of us is going to knock each other out, and it happened. 5 seconds left. It was brutal. It was vicious. I thought it was like watching Russell Crowe in Gladiators. It was just about on that level. But that's where we are in the world today. Everybody wants instant gratification.
I respect the fact that it's like last minute. They're like, we're not leaving this up to the judges.
Oh, that's what I love. The second time, we're not leaving this up to. Let's just go. Let's just see what happens. I do respect that, but I think that the over the top. Oh my God! I will admit I watched the knockout about 8 times.
For someone that doesn't like MMA.
No, but I mean, because it was on, the replay was there, so I had to watch, because I just wanted to see the sheer viciousness of the knockout, which just makes me as bad as anybody else that I'm saying. But I didn't pay for the pay-per-view, and I didn't know the guys' names, and I didn't set my clock around, I got to see this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the difference. That's all.
Quick little shout out to the NFL draft coming up this week.
Oh, yes. Yes.
We are both very much looking forward to that.
Yes, we are.
And Bill Belichick will be a special guest on the Pat McAfee show to
I'm going to tell everybody, if you don't know the draft, or you don't know everything about Belichick, or you're not really sure about the whole McAfee, who says he's probably going to be doing about 100 grams. I'm not going to say what. Okay.
Take a guess.
Okay, he's going to be probably doing about 100 grams because this is a long show. That first round's a long show. It's going to be some hours in. But the really cool thing I think everybody should watch out about it is that we all know Bill Belichick from the On to Cincinnati and all those press conferences and pulling up the hoodie and looking gnarly. He's insanely engaging. He was on the McAfee show this week to promote their broadcast on YouTube to coming up, and McAfee was telling the behind-the-scenes stories, which we don't have really time for, but it was just amazing to know that this guy, who's been a little bit vilified lately in this offseason, don't you think?
Very much so.
And I don't think that's fair.
And it recently came out that like he's basically not going to work for, Robert Kraft told the Atlanta owner, basically warned him not to hire him.
Well,
and then it sounds like the only owner who would hire him is Jerry Jones.
But he's not in a position to do it, okay? But I think that that's bizarre. If Kraft has done anything down that road, because I heard Kraft once say that the greatest thing that ever happened to his life was Bill Belichick.
Something happened there, obviously.
I heard it's the son more than Robert, because he's moving up the ladder, and he figured he's going to have to deal with this guy's button heads. But one thing is, I know that something went on between Belichick and Brady also. We'll never know what's going on. But I'm going to tell you this much. Belichick still has great things to say about Brady, and Brady only has good things to say about Belichick. So I wonder how much times this is reporter generated.
Yeah, that's very much a possibility.
I mean, something went on, obviously, right? But what do you
it's also possible for them to both just keep it civil in the media. They're both smart guys.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm going to say. But if you want to really know, let's just take an example, okay? You know when they do those Zoom calls? Mm-hmm. So they're Zooming Belichick, and he's sitting in the room, and behind him you see 6 Super Bowls.
Yeah, I saw that.
That was amazing. And when you go, everybody else has some bling. I got to have a little bling too. The guy is great. Take your time to watch this draft. And what's going to be interesting about this draft, Andrew, and we got to take track of this because we did it last draft, and we should have put it all together, is how many of these guys in the top 20 are not playing in the league in 2 years?
Whoa.
Let's go back to the Okuda draft when we, the Detroit Lions, took him as the highest drafted free safety in the history of the game. What is he? He's a special teams player for a team I can't pronounce. And in his draft, 7 of those guys are either, I think it's 7 guys are out of the league, and 3 or 4 of them are secondary players. So I'm still looking for that unbelievable mock draft expert. I left my door open. You got my phone number. You know where to find me. I want to, and Mel, you don't count.
Okay, fair enough. But yeah, this is going to be a crazy draft. A lot of good wide receivers. Could be as many as 5 quarterbacks, even 6 going in the first round. A couple very, very good offensive tackles also going to be available.
Oh, that's the one I'd be going for. And I still say my prediction is that Jim Harbaugh and the San Diego and the Los Angeles Chargers are going to try to wiggle to get Alt out of Notre Dame. But we want to say something, 2 names right now. And when I say these 2 names, you know where I'm going with them. Justin Jefferson, Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yes.
Okay? Now, when we have these hypes on, if somebody doesn't take Marvin Harrison, like in normal days, like if this was 20 years ago, because the quarterback thing got so insane, year 2.
He'd be the number 1 pick.
Marvin, no doubt, Keyshawn Johnson was the number 1 pick. You know what I mean? Go back in the days. He would be the number 1 pick with Alt being number 2.
Yeah.
And then they would start working on who's the best quarterbacks. But because...
Even the I keep blanking the other wide receiver that everyone's losing their pants over.
Oh, the guy on LSU. I forget his name. We should have called a mock draft expert so he could have given us his list.
I don't know. I forgot to add him on speed dial.
Oh, yeah, okay. You know what? He doesn't answer my calls. That's what pisses me off. The guy doesn't, and I'm mock draft expert. Where are you? I'm calling you. Can you help me out? Because I'm going to tell you, I like J.J.
Neighbors.
Neighbors.
Malik
Oh,
Neighbors.
yeah. And they also, that's the guy from LSU, right?
Yeah, and then there's
the guy from Washington.
Odunze.
Yeah. They're, and I think both of those are going to be all pros within 5 years, maybe 3. These guys are the real deal. They made quarterbacks look good. And look at all the guys that are going into the league or they're already that are thrown to these guys.
But the thing you hear that drives me like crazy is like, oh, Marvin Harrison Jr., maybe the best football prospect of all time. Oh, he might not even be the highest drafted in his position.
Oh, that's nuts. That's nuts.
Well, just because Neighbor is like a bit faster, like
what they're saying is this, and this goes back like father, like son. We've discussed this on the show before. They're telling Marvin, listen, all of this stuff is bullshit. You just do your thing, and if someone's not stupid enough to pick you, then they're idiots. The only drag that on Marvin Harrison's part is there's a big bunch of money difference if you get picked 5th or you get picked 10th. The money starts...
Yeah, sure.
You know what I mean?
On the clock for like what? Because the entry level is what, a 4-year deal in the NFL?
Yeah, then it goes down. Then it goes down. Then it goes down. You know what I mean? So getting drafted in the top 20 or in the first round is money. No, he's going to get drafted first round.
Should be top 10.
Should be top 5.
Agreed.
Should be top 5. Maybe perhaps number 1.
But everyone's going so crazy with quarterbacks. Like your boy J.J. McCarthy might be a top 5 pick.
Okay, everyone knows that I love my family and I love the Michigan Wolverines, and J.J. McCarthy has given me copious amounts of joy on the football field. I'm an old guy watching football for a long time, and I'm not a mock draft expert, but if you take J.J. McCarthy in the first round, don't expect him to be doing anything for a couple of years in the NFL. I just don't think, there is a question. It was great because Brock Purdy was on the show this week, was on McAfee too, and he was Mr. Irrelevant. But he said he thinks that he seriously believes he had more starts coming into the NFL than any quarterback drafted in his year and the 2 years previous.
Right.
So there has to be some validity to having enough snaps in college.
Sure. And McCarthy started.
Has the most. And he's played in a pro style. So I will give him this, but I've seen his arm. He throws fastballs and nothing else. Great mobility. I don't know how tough he's going to be because he's a little thin.
Bulking season this summer. Hit at McDonald's.
Right beside Graydon Dick. Okay, right beside the
Grady
both of them.
Dick.
But I mean, it's going to be interesting because look at the top three quarterbacks. Are the hype on all three has been insane. But I'm going to just.
Oh, I hope the Patriots get Drake May.
Oh, you better not. And
I don't think he's going to get to slip to number 3 though.
Why? You think he's going to go ahead of Jaden? If they take anybody, Jaden could be the best. Jaden Daniels from LSU could be the best of all of them.
Yeah.
I think Drake May in 3 years from now is going to be like a Josh Allen. You know, Allen came in the league and he was all over the place, and then they tightened him up and they got Josh Allen. That's what I think he can be. But the hype on quarterbacks, just remember this. What was it, 5 years ago or 6 years ago? Who were the first 2 guys in the draft taken that were supposed to be all generational? Jameis Winston and Marcus Mariota.
Marcus Mariota. I remember.
Where are they now?
I remember I don't know if this is like the week after the draft. Like I met a guy who was a Titans fan. He was like, "We found our future quarterback."
Oh, stop it!
Takes that age like milk.
Okay, you got it. So where's Johnny Manziel? Where's Josh Rosen? Who am I missing? Russell from the Raiders. I know he's got a good barbecue. Bought Mama House. Be careful what you wish for. But we can end it on this. People, if you want to be entertained, turn on your YouTube. Find McAfee at the draft with Belichick. I'm expecting it to be much CTV.
I'm hoping.
I'm hoping too. Yep.
We'll move this on to one of our favorites here, the Toronto Blue Jays in Major League Baseball. But however, what I want to get to first is the Baltimore Orioles and their funnel in the dugout. That's just hilarious.
I wonder who brought that from college. Did you? Okay.
I hope it's a fresh one. I mean, you could just go to Home Depot,
Get one for every game.
No, I mean, just one for until it gets too
They
dirty.
don't have a logo on it, though, do they? I thought they should have a logo on it.
It's a work in progress.
Okay. But any event, we know what the funnel's for. Okay. And now they're doing this in the dugout. Hilarious. And I hate Baltimore. But I really
Gotta show them respect.
Yes, no, the acumen, like the spirit of acumen. And I want to get back to this. It's very, very weird. And we discussed this offline. That funnel thing is hilarious. Okay? 3 years ago, the only team with a celebration was who?
Toronto Blue Jays.
With the jacket. Now everybody and their buddies got a celebration except the Toronto Blue Jays.
Yeah, about 19 months ago, it started to become a hot topic once Bo refused to have that jacket put on him, and then that just started the media controversy train.
Okay, but you know what?
Then we can never come back from that.
I agree, but
Then the Pirates were like, "Oh, can we take the jacket?" They're like, "Yeah, sure, fine." Then all of a sudden the Angels are doing the samurai helmet.
Yeah, the Mariners got Aquaman's
the trident.
the trident. What is Cincinnati doing? They're doing something weird too, aren't they?
Oh, what do they have?
They have something going on too.
They have like a hat or something.
Yeah, they got something pretty crazy going on. But the bottom line...
Oh, the cape maybe.
Maybe it's a cape. Yeah. Maybe you have the cape. But the thing that I'm saying about it is that I think all these celebrations are great. But the bottom line is...
Team building, yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, and all that. But you got to remember, there's a time and a place. It's like the guy going into the end zone, getting a touchdown, doing 3 cartwheels, throwing it into the stands, and he's losing by 30. You know what I mean? There's something.
Bad luck.
There's just something to be said about the Barry Sanders going into the end zone celebrations. There's something to be respected. But I think in the moment of a game, like a hockey game, when they score a big goal or there's a big hit in a ball game, if you don't show me some kind of serious emotion, I'm going, then why are you not playing the game? We're excited. We're just the fans. Sure. So I don't know. Do you think Toronto will ever bring anything back?
Not with this group.
Anyways, Guerrero is at the top of the clubhouse every time a home run's hit doing something. Guerrero will not let it go. He makes sure the team goes. And they've got that little dance move they do now with the hits, which is kind of pretty funny. But what we should be talking about now that we're done with the funny is the actual product on the field that the Toronto Blue Jays is presenting to us.
Yes, and first of all, I want to say I went to my first game of the season on Tuesday against the New York Yankees. A great game. Kikuchi threw a gem, and... I will say the new fan experience is quite tremendous from the 100 level.
Oh, that's what I've been hearing. You know what I say?
The cushion seats a little wider. Everyone's got a nice view of the infield.
Okay, I'm glad. I'm just saying, did it improve the defense on the infield?
No. Although somehow Vladdy made it one of the flukiest assists I've ever seen in my life. The old 3-4-1 put out.
Oh, yeah, that was good, though. But you know what? You know what's really weird? I'm going to say something about this before we seriously talk about the Jays. Two seasons ago, Vladdy got a Gold Glove. And
somehow.
His defense this year is the best he's been playing. I watched every Blue Jay game. He's made a couple of faux pas, but he made the great play where he stepped on the bag. He's thrown it to... He threw it to Bichette for that double play, which was cool. He went behind Schneider when he was playing second base. Maybe he should have, maybe he made the decision. I don't know if Schneider would have got to it. Mm-hmm. But Vladdy got to the ball and got it to Kikuchi. You know what I mean? I think our biggest problem still is I don't think that Bo is 100%. You see some of his throws?
No, and actually they originally awarded him an error at the game I was at, and then they took it away, which was so weird.
Then it came back, didn't it? No, it stayed a hit. The guy got a hit.
I think
that's a hometown discount.
Unless it changed after the game, I don't know. But
that's a hometown discount, man. You seen the ball?
You say it is. I don't say so because you kind of screw over your pitcher with that.
Oh, I know that, but it doesn't
ended up
matter.
being an earned run on Kikuchi.
Okay, but I don't. And then I think they changed it so it wasn't there. Anyways,
it wasn't. It was marked as a hit.
Yeah. Okay. So now I'm going to look at it this way. Sometimes I get on my high horse about what a player should be, or how he looks to me in his performance. I'm going to say Pete Walker is one of the greatest pitching coaches in the history of baseball. He takes these guys, and it took him a season and a half to get Kikuchi here. But now that he's got that changeup, oh yeah, he's vicious. Like it comes out of his hand exactly the same. He augured, what's his name, Judge on one of the when he struck out Judge.
Oh yeah,
that was so dirty. You know what I mean? Now I still say Juan Soto's going to be the best hitter in the American League by the end of this year. Guy's almost impossible to get out at times. He gets himself out.
Yeah.
But so Kikuchi kind of danced away from him. However, when he struck out Judge, and our boy
By the way, Judge, like I was shocked at the amount of booze he got.
Who, Judge?
Yeah, why? Just because he's the best player in the Yankees? Like
Toronto.
It's not A-Rod, people. Let's relax.
Okay,
here.
but I'm thinking it's always that inferiority complex.
Maybe. And then people were chanting overrated for Stanton's last at-bat, which I thought was funny. But
well, yeah, I do that anyway. But he did get one home run. Now,
not the game I was at, but
okay. So now let's just talk about how the Blue Jays played. First of all, I think that guy with the three names, who I never say right,
Kiner
Falefa. Sometime, some way.
Isaiah Kiner Falefa.
He's got to be moved around the infield in there somehow, some way to anchor as much as he can because he is clearly flashes the leather. He is a great defensive player.
Yeah.
However, he's got warning track power, so what good is that? All right, that's the issue. But we got to keep him in there to settle the defense because they keep rotating guys around like Clement, Biggio, Schneider, sometimes Justin Turner, according to who's pitching against us, which we have to take into consideration because the Jays can't hit.
Yeah.
They can't hit.
Yep.
Okay, look at last night. Perfect example. Glad Justin Turner's on the team. Kiermaier got his one hit for the week, drove in 2 runs, 5-0 after 2 innings. Oh, what was the final score?
5-1.
5-1. So what did you do for the last 7 innings, people?
Oh, it's like hockey, pull it back and just play a good defensive game.
I wish we were in the same ballpark. No, I'm not buying that. I'm buying this.
No, of course not.
I'm buying the 3 things that I've said, and I tell you all the line. The Sparky Anderson theory is you got to win 20 before you lose 20.
Yep.
I'll take that. Number 2, pitching and offense. Pitching and defense will win you more games than anything else.
The Jays are 11-9 right now.
11-9. Not only that, they're starting to look like they've got 5 great starters or 5 innings eaters. Because Gozman looked great the other night.
With a good bullpen.
With a great bullpen. However, let's talk about another thing that I want to know is who's running this goddamn team? You bring back
counters upstairs.
You bring back Swanson. You bring back Romano. The first thing you do is you put them in the highest leverage situation that you can.
It worked out for Romano, not so well for Swanson.
Almost didn't work out for Romano because he gave up a couple of hits.
I mean, Romano does that anyways, though.
Doesn't matter. I would have said, let's see him do it. So what do you think?
First time I got to see a Romano save at the Dome, which is pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. I'll give him that. And it is, you know what? He needs more pitches to get in. It's game ready. But I wouldn't have put him in that situation because, look, he was up there.
He had a 3-run cushion, though.
Yeah, and gave up 2 runs. So the game was fine. No, it's not okay. That's what I'm saying. The guy coming to the plate was a game-winning home run. If he hits a home run, they win the game. That's what I'm saying. So what do we do the next night? We bring in Swanson in a high-leverage situation. He blows the first save of the year for the Jays when we had Jaime Garcia and Green sitting on the bench.
Jimmy Garcia.
Yeah, Jimmy, whatever you say his name. Looked like, kind of like the Jimi Hendrix spelling, but with a Y, I guess. But yeah, those 2 high-leverage guys to come out and do some stuff. Even Trevor Richards, who could have come out, has been pitching pretty well. And you bring out Swanson, and what do? You have the first blown save of the year, and we let the Yankees off the hook. We could have swept those schmucks.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It would have been a huge game in the standings.
Oh, mega right now. We'd have been up there because now we've crawled up ahead of Tampa Bay and Boston.
Yeah, we're sitting in, well, not that the standings matter too much right now, but we're sitting in 3rd.
Yeah, and not only that, we're 2 games above 500. Remember, after 6 games, we were going, oh. Now, I'm still doing that a lot, but I'm happy with the defense and I think that's Schneider's defense. I think Schneider must set up the defense. I don't know what's going on with the pitching because Aikens and Shapiro, come on down to the show. We want to ask you a few questions, nothing personal.
Sure.
Okay, you know what I mean? But the Jays, in the long run, at this point in the season, and you look around, look at one of the divisions. Everybody's under 500, isn't it, in the West already?
The AL West?
AL West, so everybody's under 500.
Yeah, except for the Rangers, who are just barely above
500. So that's just saying that, remember, people, if you don't win the division, we got to have a wild card in there. So we're competing against these losers at times. So we have to stay ahead of them. And one of the reasons we could do it is bullpen and defense. Starting pitching, it's all rising up. Like, who would have known when you're coming beginning of May, you're going to add a Swanson and a Romano to your bullpen, and you're above 500? And a great win in San Diego last night, which tells me we should race right to the pro line today and bet against Toronto.
Against Toronto?
Uh-huh.
Even though we got Barrios on the mound today.
Well, I'm not going to tell you any of my theories because that's me knocking on wood, okay? So let's just move on. Barrios has been amazing.
Indeed.
Amazing. Bassett's been good. Just don't give him anything to worry about. And Kikuchi's been great. Gosman's looking good. It's the fact that we got the Cuban came up and moved Buddy out of the way because that Francis guy was making me nervous every time he ran out of the dugout.
Well, now they kind of piggyback him on the Cuban.
Which, okay, because he pitched 2 last night, right?
Yeah, we got the win.
Yeah, he got the win because it was after, which is kind of, I think, is like a vulture win. You know what I mean? They wouldn't let him go 5. Why not let him go 1 more inning? Because he would get there. But once again, analytics said get him out. He only threw 83 pitches.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So what's another 17? He would have got to 100. He's going to have to throw 100 one day, right? Boy ain't little, by the way.
No.
He ain't little. You know what I mean? He's had some Cuban fiestas.
Well, I think they're worried about throwing him into the fire too much too soon.
Okay, and I understood why they took Gosman out after 5. I got it. And he only pitched 80-some pitches then. I understood that. But then on the other hand, the other night, one of the times they let Bassett go for a few extra pitches, they say, he doesn't throw as hard. Anyway.
That's how we got to eat a lot of innings last year, right?
And I think we got guys that are going to eat innings, too, with a great bullpen. Let's put it this way. We were at the 20-game mark, the 21-game mark.
20 games.
20 games. I'm much more confident. I mean, I'm not planning a parade, but I'm much more confident in the look of the team than I was 10 games ago. You know what I mean? Even they broke out of it, but I think they're going to go there. Because when you look around the league, what are really the surprises in the league? Cleveland?
Cleveland is a big one.
Huge one. You know what I mean? And they're
Kansas City, too.
Oh, yeah, Kansas City. But they had the young guys, and they were looking like they were going to try to do an Arizona-Baltimore thing this year. Because this has been about a 4 or 5 year rebuild for Kansas City.
Sure.
So, with the Bobby Witt, the Singer pitching, and a few of these other guys. I don't know, Singer's in L.A., the other guy. But in any event, they built a roster of young guys. That is going to be, I don't think they're going to be there in the end because, once again, they don't have pitching. And I think by the next show, I'm going to rake over the whole league and point out just how much Toronto has an advantage of from a pitching point of view. They're in the top 10 in all pitching categories in baseball right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which could change dramatically in 2 games. Have an 8-run game get shelled this early in the year, your ERA can go from 3 to 5 in 2 games. But if you keep it steady until we get to the 40, 50 point, then we'll start leveling off and seeing where we are. Don't you agree?
Sure.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm hoping anyway. I'm not worried about talking much about the National League this year, except for the fact that we went into San Diego. First game and went bang. Which, when we're at my house tonight, you're going to have the experience of having the multi-screen, and we're going to have the game, the Blue Jay game, right below the Leaf game.
The Leaf game.
So you'll be able to watch both. I've already been ordered by Jody, who is a huge Leaf fan, Jody Levoy, and because you haven't been to my man cave yet, he's already demanded that the top 2 screens have to be on the Leaf game.
Both.
Wow. He's saying both. No. He goes, Cruz, I'm not used to this. You're telling me to look at stuff. I don't even know where I'm supposed to look. You know what I mean? I do it all, but I'm used to it. But I tell him, he goes, no, man, 2 at the game. And you know you're gonna find out about that too is, you watch. I don't know how this digital and all this cable shit works, but I'm gonna put the game on. Okay, the game's gonna be on CBC, right?
CBC and Sportsnet, I think.
I'm gonna put both CBC's feeds on the TVs, so it won't be Sportsnet and CBC because there could be there's a drag. Sometimes the same feed there's a drag. I'm hoping not
that's
tonight.
Internet. That's an internet thing, I think.
But it's at my house. It's the same house, the same internet. The signal's
but it's 2 different things loading.
But it's the same channel.
Nothing to do with that. It's not like old school cable. It's internet.
Okay, so I'm not a techie. It bugs me because sometimes when they're off by a bit, because sometimes I want to leave them on the same game, and the guy swings, and then the other guy just swings.
That would bug me too.
Oh, it does. So,
that's why I hate watching at some bars when like one TV's head up, and you hear the screaming. It's
that's what I don't like either. So I told Jody, I said, okay, we'll have the 2 screens on, but if there's any of that going on, boom, done. We just leave it on one screen.
That's fair.
Because it drives me nuts. You know,
that drives me nuts too.
I don't mind when I'm by myself because then you get the instant replay immediately. So you know what I mean? It's like instant, like, okay, I got it, I see it. But it's irritating when you're watching the whole thing there. But in any event, we'll have both games on tonight. The National League is, when I've looked at it right now, when we're saying about surprises, is I don't think there really is any surprises in the National League already. Because if you look out west, the Dodgers are already rising up. Atlanta's looking like they're pretty steady, even though that Strider loss is huge. Mm-hmm. You know, and they had an injury to an everyday player too, which is going to hurt. I don't know what's happening with Cincinnati. They were supposed to make some noise, and they're doing nothing. And Milwaukee is comfortably moving into, as I predicted, a division win because of this.
Although Cubs are only half a game back.
I think it's going to go down to those 2. Let's talk after 40. But the Cubs are for real. They got the money back in it. So should be interesting to go.
Yeah.
We're just hoping that, like we said, Schneider, you run the team. Tell those guys in the box up in the press box or in the manager role, leave you alone. Let's go with the moment. Let's use analytics as a tool, not as a hammer. And we'll figure it out. You know what I'm saying?
Anything else for baseball?
Nothing I can think off the top of my head except for that Vlad's got to quit swinging at bad pitches.
Okay, I 100% agree with that. He had a nasty strikeout in the 7th last night.
Oh, ugliest of the year?
With Bo on base.
With Bo on base and 1 out. It was
just lay off, Bo. Just lay off, man.
It was so bad. Like, you know what he made? He made a decision. He pulled it back. He made a decision. You could see it in his swing. So you got to know that before. Even though I've been hearing he's taking extra batting practice, I thought it was cool, and I hope it was Snyder's decision to put Bichette at the top of the order.
Yeah, could be a good look for the future.
Yeah.
We will take this into at least half of our meat and potatoes, half of our feature presentation here for this week. The NBA playoffs.
The House of Husbands reality show.
House of Husbands.
Do you know that this season in the NBA is like, if you're going to talk about upsets, there's going to be 8 games. 6 of these series I would not call an upset.
Well, that's just basketball in a nutshell.
Well, no, I don't know. Can you say the same thing about hockey? I'm not really sure.
No,
because
but
I've taken the time.
100% not, but that's just the style of the game. Basketball in the first round, there's very few upsets.
Well, I'm saying this much. I'm saying that let's take a look at what's going on and how they're ranked. Like, okay, Minnesota is playing Phoenix. Yes. That's 3rd versus 6th. So you're going to say if Durant, Beal, and Booker with Grayson Allen beat Gobert, Ant-Man, and Cat Is that an upset?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, 100%. They finished. Oh, come on. We talked about how much of a disaster that team is.
Okay, but I'm saying now that we're here and we're looking at close, for example now.
Well, hold on. Let's start with the play-in, how that went first.
Oh, the plan was a bit of a joke. The first 2 games are great.
A 7th seed has never missed the playoffs from the play-in tournament. And really, there was no upset this year.
No, and
7's got the first game, and then the 8's won the second one.
Okay.
So and the Warriors are out.
So we're like my heart. Do you see that purple piss? My heart just pouring out for that. And I don't feel bad for Klay Thomas. How much money did he make?
Thompson.
You know how much money did he make?
I don't feel bad for him either.
No, you went 0 for 1,000. You're old. You got some injuries. I'm sorry about that.
Do you think Golden State brings him back?
Kerr's talking about it, but there's something going on there where the owners are saying they want to bring it down the salary cap for the couple years to do the rebuild and come in line with the rest of the league.
I don't know if Curry's going to be happy with that.
That's a whole new can of worms we got to open up, isn't it? But Draymond got his bag.
He did.
Okay, and Kerr, the coach, said it's imperative that they keep the 3 together for the continuity of the organization and the franchise, believing that they can pull one more championship out of their ass. I don't think so.
I think they blew that chance.
Yeah, I think so too. And you know what?
The moment Draymond Green punched Jordan Poole in the face.
It's never been the same. Never been the same. But I will say this, though. Klay Thompson is one of the greatest shooters of all time. We've said that.
Arguably number 2.
Yeah, Splash Brothers were a thing of beauty. Their legacy will not be denied. They changed the NBA. For good, bad, or ugly, however you want to look at it. So it's unfortunate, but Father Time is undefeated. How many times we got to say that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So what are you going to do? Is a team going to get silly and give them a bag like Orlando, they're saying? Because here's the point.
Ooh.
Here's a weird thing.
Or the Lakers.
Here's the weird thing. Klay Thompson averaged 18 points a night. He was top 5 percentage in
3-pointers
and free throws. So how many guys in the league can you say will give you that every game? Because we forget his standard was so high that now that he's fell down to this level, which is great productivity still when it comes to every day in the NBA.
Sure. With a good defense.
His defense has fallen off a bit, but it's still solid. Is it worth $40 million a year?
I would struggle with that.
I don't want to say the door hitting your ass on the way out, but if he's going to take a pay cut, you know what I mean? Because it could be done because, first of all, I think they're going to buy out Chris Paul.
He hasn't been a great fit there.
No, and whatever. So $31 million, you take off him, and if you make a trade which includes an Andrew Wiggins, suddenly they've got an extra, I forget what it was, I heard the number the other day, over $50 million in cap space if they make 2 moves, which would still not put them in.
You need to find other guys. It's not. There's no ideal situation here for Golden State.
So they re-sign Klay at less money for $20 million or $18 million.
He's not going to accept that.
Then go to Orlando and play for a team and get 35? Is that what you're saying?
He's going to want the money.
Money. He's talked about the bag, but it's past his best before date.
Someone's going to pay him.
You can't. Then you will no longer be a Golden State Warrior. Because it's interesting, the general manager, who is every night is on the NBA Today, talking with Wilbon and Stephen A. What's his name again? Damn. He's sitting there like the cat that swallowed the bird, because he doesn't diss the organization, but he's sitting right there. Why did you quit, buddy? Why did you quit? Well, I needed a change in my lifestyle, family, and all this. Yeah, you're on TV every night, so you're still away from your family just as much as you were before. So stop that. Why did you leave? There's something internally gone on in the organization if a man like that left. 2-time executive of the year in the last 10 years.
Not that means too much.
Nah, I know it doesn't. But the bottom line is he is recognized as somebody that knows something. And now he's an analyst on a top-rated basketball show. He's very coy about a lot of things when they talk to him about Golden State, which I respect because you don't let the house secrets out just because you're not in the house.
No.
You know what I mean?
And that's a good way to end off. We'll move into the playoffs. So
I still say not a lot of upsets.
You want to start with the West or the East?
Let's start with, we always go East to West, don't we?
Okay. So first up, the number 1 versus number 8, the Boston Celtics will be taking on the Miami Heat.
That is the only series I think that you should bet your mortgage on. Jimmy Butler is possibly a sweep. I thought Chicago would have given them a better run last night, which they didn't. And I thought Sacramento would have given
whatever.
I thought Sacramento would have given.
That was disappointing, especially without Zion in the lineup.
Exactly. But Brandon Ingram, like I said, I very quietly say, quiet superstar in the NBA. See how stoned he is when he plays? I love it. See him talking to what's her name after the show?
No.
Well, you know.
He's just that cool, just always
yeah,
that chill.
He's cool. Yeah, I mean, he's Snoopy cool, I guess.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Joe
I'm saying
cool.
that's going to be could be a sweep. Could be a sweep.
Yeah, I mean, Miami's kind of taking a step back. They're definitely not the team that made the finals last year.
No, and I'll take it one step further here. I think that the Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown talk about when are they going to do it is bothering these guys enough that they're going to try to kill. Yeah. And not only that, they've made the right moves in the off seasons that are going to play into it, which is Drew Holiday and Christina, whatever his name, Porzingis. Especially
Kristaps.
Christina
Porzingis.
Well, sometimes he walks like some supermodels, but that's another story. The Drew Holiday, which is up their defense along with that white guy. Not a white guy. His name is white. In any event, they've got the defense. What only thing I'm worried about for Boston, and not this series, but the other series, their propensity to fire up too many threes and not rebound enough to balance a bad night of shooting. Yeah. So they should be careful because they can score more in the paint if they want.
Sure.
Okay.
How many are you calling it in? I'm going to say it's going to be a sweep for Boston.
I think that I had it as a sweep. Where did I put it? I had Celtics in 5, but you're right. I'm going to say sweep.
Miami could extend it, but I wouldn't bet my mortgage on it.
That would be Bio and Hero would have to have the craziest games of their lives.
Especially with Butler maybe playing a little bit hurt now.
No, he's not going to play. I think he's out.
Oh, he's out?
MCL.
Oh, there we go then.
I think he's gone. So he can't play for a month. They're taking him off for his career there.
Sorry, Heat. We'll move it on to the Knicks versus the 76ers. This one, to me, is a second-round series in disguise as a first-round series.
Well, the problem is that Embiid was out, right?
Yeah,
so at the time
he's
back now, he was up 10 games, and they were ahead of the Knicks in the standings when he went out. So here's how the seedings go.
But the Knicks got significantly better after the OG trade.
But Julius Randle is not coming back.
Yeah, he wasn't having that great of a season anyways.
He was solid, dude. And they were up there battling for first place with balance. He was okay. He's the balance that they need to fight off a guy like Embiid. So I'm saying that the seedings are kind of got, what would you say, unbalanced?
Yeah.
Because Philadelphia is not really a 7th seed.
No, of course not. They should be like a 3-4.
So I'm calling the Sixers to upset the Knicks.
Whoa. I think the Knicks are going to be too good. I think the door's open for the Knicks to go to the conference final.
Okay, we're going to have a beer on that. So I'm going to say this right now. 76ers to beat the Knicks. Not only that, I'm going to beat them in 6 games.
I'm picking Knicks in 6.
Knicks, okay. So I got 76ers in there. Because you got to remember this. The smart thing that Philly did is they also brought in Buddy Hield. As they needed that three-point shooting to go along with Tyrese Maxey, and they've got Tobias Harris who can shoot too, and they got the guys coming off the bench. Their second unit plays ferocious defense. Nick Nurse coach-style defense, who's one of the best in-game adjustment coaches in the NBA. I'm picking the Sixers.
Okay.
All righty.
Milwaukee versus Indiana, the 3 versus 6. Would anyone be surprised if the Bucks find a way to blow this?
So you'd call Indiana an upset?
Pacers can score.
Okay,
and Bucks have found a way to fall behind the 8 ball. Here's my prediction. The Bucks are going to blow a 3-1 series lead. Pacers in 7.
Oh, wow. Okay, I had the Pacers in 6. Okay, because I think the same thing is going to go here because number one is, and I think that's going to be the Pacers going, this is going to be a huge flop for the Bucks. But here's the problem. Giannis might not even play in the series now. He's had that Achilles thing going on, and he's doubtful to not playing at all in the first game. Damian Lillard is just coming back from a nagging injury that's bothering him. They don't have Grayson Allen. They don't have True Holiday, and they don't have a third player. I wish I had wrote it in the book. So their defense is seriously compromised.
Sure.
And Doc Rivers is not a basketball whisperer this year.
No.
I'm taking the Pacers.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I can see the Bucks kind of going all out the first few games, building up that series lead, and then they're just going to find ways to kill themselves.
If they don't win the first game of the series, I wouldn't be surprised if we got an Indiana sweep. You heard it here first. Milwaukee's looked that bad, and I feel sorry because I like Damian Lillard.
They came on pretty strong down the stretch, though, I thought.
And then, but then the last couple of games, they did some stupid stuff where they should have been higher in the standings. They could have been ahead of the Knicks. They could have been the number 2.
So they could have lost to the Sixers instead.
Well, the Sixers are going to beat them anyways, too. So, okay. And the last one in the East, that's to say it's a gimme series for me. The scariest team that nobody's talking about, the Cleveland Cavaliers, they're going to handily take out Orlando. First of all, I do
not know about that.
I think Orlando does not have enough playoff experience. Cleveland does. They've got
These are both good defensive teams.
Oh, excellent defensive
I think
teams.
this would be a much closer series than people are giving
I
it
think the
credit
score
for.
of the games will be closer, but I think the result's going to be Cleveland in 6. I don't think it'll go 7.
I don't know about that. Magic are a very good home team.
Excellent home team.
The
but so's
Cavs are a better road team, so we'll see. I don't know. I think there's going to be some weird stuff here. I think this is going 7 games. I think the Cavs still take it, though.
I got the Cavs in 6 for this reason.
Okay.
I think that you're right. I think the games.
Okay, you're making it sound like it was going to be a sweep.
No. But I just think that Cleveland's going to win no matter what. I think the games, you're right. The games are going to be very, very close. But I think the fact that who's going to be your closer? You see, they got Pancheru, what's his name, on Orlando?
Paolo Banchero.
Yeah, and the guy that used to play for Louisville. They're a solid team, and their defense is going to carry them. I don't know if they're big enough in the center when they got Mobley and Jared Allen in the middle, and that could be a bit of a problem over a period of time of getting more down. And plus the fact they got Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell will be the best player in the series, and that's usually a plus for any team that's in an NBA series, right? Playoff series, that they say. So who you like?
Cleveland in 7.
Cleveland in 7.
I think Orlando turns this into a dogfight.
You know what I think it's too, and I'm going to try to do this when I go to a little thing we call betting. I think I'm going to bet these games under.
That series for sure.
And that's what I'm thinking for sure. And I'm thinking that the Knicks-Philly series, because people, when you study this stuff, remember, the New York Knicks are the slowest paced team in the NBA. And I heard a stat this week that I want to know who's the analytics moron that found this out. They said it was AI. Got this, but listen to this stat. Jason Brunson has dribbled the ball 60% more than any guard in the NBA this year. Actual dribbles.
Oh, my God.
How do you figure that out? I heard it was AI. But go check out the number. It's something.
AI, they have the player tracking technology. They probably use that to help you.
What, there's a ticker on the ball every time it's
No, but they can count how many steps a guy took, so you probably use that to figure it out.
Well, one guy dribbles faster than the other. Like LeBron is taller than Brunson, so his dribble down the floor is going to be good.
So you look at a bunch of instances of him dribbling the ball, and you kind of use that as your base, and you obviously have a certain error threshold in there.
I think analytics gurus have lost their frickin' minds. That's what I think.
It's an interesting little tidbit.
When I heard it, I went, what? And you know what the funny thing, I think I heard about it, and this was hilarious. Again, McAfee, you're getting way too much frickin' press here today, and you got enough as already as with your success. While they were talking about statistics, McAfee started dribbling a basketball.
That's funny.
It got in 50. And he goes, I just got in 50 dribbles. He goes, so I got to do... Then he was just doing the live because he was cutting up the analytics too. So, but he did the 50 dribbles and said, okay, let's do the math on that. How many times did Jalen Brunson do what? It just sounds outrageous. I don't know how they got to it, but Brunson does dribble a lot. He plays 40 minutes a night.
Yeah. So
balls in his hand all the time. Oh, but that much more than everybody else? More than Steph Curry? But Steph Curry just fires the ball up.
Yeah, he's not exactly your traditional point guard.
Think about him or Cade Cunningham in Detroit, even though he's injured a bit. That guy had the ball in his hands all the time because the only one that Detroit could trust was the ball in his hands.
Jalen Brunson, like you said, he's been healthy the whole year, right?
What about Luka Doncic? Doesn't he have the ball in his hands? He doesn't.
Him and Kyrie, they kind of do a little bit of the split show. But anyways, I think that's enough about dribbling the ball.
Yes, I think it is.
On to the West?
On to the West.
Number 1 versus number 8 in the West, OKC versus the New Orleans Pelicans. This should be a pretty interesting series.
I'm concerned about the youth factor on the OKC team.
Yes.
That's what scares me.
Especially in the middle.
Especially in the middle. Now, the other thing that people have forgotten about is the Pelicans have a little bit of playoff experience.
They do.
If you take a little bit further, Ingram's had more playoff experience going back to the time he was playing with the Lakers. So I think starting to believe, if you don't believe that Ingram's a top 10 player in the league, come on, man. The guy, it's just, I don't know, maybe it's the stoner thing about him or whatever that doesn't get him his press. I am going to say this. OKC in 7.
Okay, in 7.
In 7. I almost picked the Pelicans to pull the upset, but I don't know the complete health of Zion Williams. He might miss the first game only. Then they're down 1-0 and you're fighting to get in there. If it wasn't for that, because look who else is on that team. You got McCollum, you got Jonas Valanciunas, you've got Ingram, you've got, what's the other guy's name? Big white guy on the side. This is a serious team, and they play defense.
Sure.
So I'm calling, you know what I mean? And if the Pelicans win this series, I won't be surprised because some of this stuff reminds me of which I'll get to my next pick, which you're going to think I'm nuts. But I'm going to take OKC to win in 7, but I think that's going to be a closer dogfight than the Cleveland-Orlando series.
I'm going to take OKC in 6. I think OKC is just such a good team at home, and the Pelicans are not a very good home team. I don't know if you know that.
They're all over the board.
Barely over 500.
Barely over, but that's the way they play.
The experience that might, but it's a red flag, don't you think? Especially going up against the number 1 team in the conference.
Okay.
I think they can extend this out and turn this into a little bit of a fight, but like, come on. At the end of the day, we all know OKC's the better team. I don't see this going 7 games.
If Zion doesn't pull up lame with 2 minutes left in a tie game against the Lakers, do you think the Lakers OKC might have beat Lakers in that first play-in game?
Oh, last year?
Right this year, when LA Lakers played the Pelicans.
Oh, I thought you said the OKC. Sorry.
The Pelicans played the Lakers in the play-in game. That was a great game, by the way.
Yeah.
Great game. NBA gets away with that shit. All the garbage we see all year, then we get that great game in the play-in.
Zion with a huge game as well. He had 40,
he was unbelievable. LeBron was battling with him like no tomorrow. And if you look at the score, it was tied with 90 seconds, 2 minutes left, and Zion went down. Then LeBron took over because he had nobody to control LeBron, and they tied frickin' Valanciunas' shoes together. Game over.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So you got to look at it from that point of view.
But at the same time, those teams were in the play-in for a reason.
Injuries mostly on the Pelicans. Like Ingram missed too much time. Zion missed too much time. So I think their seeding's a little...
And Zion's a little injured again. So.
That's why I'm taking OKC in 7. If he was 100% healthy, I'd be going, Which brings us to the second game in the West, which is going to be the LA Lakers against the Denver Nuggets.
Show some respect. Say Denver first.
I'm taking the Lakers in 7.
What?
I have now decided I'm going to be the Ralph Sampson... Elijah Wan, 1988 against the defending champions LA Lakers, and they stole the series. So
I was thinking, wow.
I am saying right now, here we go, 7 games that the Lakers are going to pull off the biggest upset in the NBA. You heard it here first. And I don't care if Bronny's going into a portal. I don't care if LeBron's wife is getting her own podcast. I don't care.
Why are you bringing this up?
Because everyone's attaching things to the Lakers. I want to talk to their on-field product and the way they're linked.
Oh, my God.
I think they're the biggest sandbagging team in the history of the NBA. They're coming at
They got swept by Denver last year.
That's why they made sure that they beat the Pelicans, because they wanted to get at Denver as soon as possible.
I know in our pre-show meeting I said it wouldn't be a sweep, but I was actually considering a Denver sweep for this one. I'm not going to lie.
Michael Porter's got too much on his hands, but I'll deal with that later. Michael Porter Jr., remember this. He might be bringing stuff to the arena that... Maybe you'll hear it later. I got something in there. Okay, about that. Jamal Murray is not 100%. That's huge. So, anyways, the Lakers have got a bunch of these rugrats.
Are still overmatched.
Reeves, what's his name? Mucharara, D'Angelo Russell. They brought in Dinwiddie. That's the key, and he'll bang Murray. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, you're taking Denver in 5?
Nuggets in 5.
I'm taking Lakers in 7. Heard it here first.
I think the question is, how long can the Lakers extend the series?
When they win game 1, you heard it here first.
If they win game 1, Denver's going to storm back and win the next 4.
I bet you it goes more than 5 games. If you're that confident, put a beer on it.
Okay, fine.
Okay, a beer on it for 5 games, right? Okay, it goes past 5 games.
You listening are the witness to that handshake.
Okay, we're out there, people. And I can see right now, Kevin Pick, if you're listening, you're saying, Cruz, did you smoke any weed before the show? I go, a little bit. A little, not much. Okay, not Brandon Ingram quantity, but you know what I'm saying? Okay, next.
We'll take it to the number 3 versus number 6, a matchup we alluded to before. The Minnesota Timberwolves against the Phoenix Suns. Should be an interesting one. Not exactly obvious, but Karl Anthony Towns is back and healthy, and the Suns have been kind of a mess all year.
I think that this at times could be visually could be the most exciting series to watch. Because both of these...
I think the next one might be.
Okay, we're going to get... I know where you're going. But this is good, too, because you're going to have a lot of mano-to-mano shit in this series. You know what I mean? Like, Durant's not going to back down. Booker's not going to back down. Ant-Man's not backing down. Cat's not backing down.
Gobert's not going
to back down. And they're both going to go up and down the court. There's going to be some great defense. I think there's going to be some spectacular plays.
Sure.
Because they're going to be going at it. So what I have decided in this series, and I really had to think about this because I wasn't the biggest Kevin Durant guy anymore. But I'm taking the Wolves in 7.
I'm taking the Wolves in 6.
In 6? I'm taking them in 7. What if all those guys get hot? And they got the glue in Grayson Allen. He's the.
But they also have Bradley Beal, who's like the.
If he just plays.
Chemical,
If
the chemical paint stripper.
He's got to move. Like, I hope he plays in the playoffs. He realizes the value of this.
I hope so, too. I like Phoenix. I like Durant.
I'm not a big Durant fan anymore, and I think Booker's a bitch. Okay, and I think Grayson Allen was one of the dirtiest guys in the league, but he holds that team together.
I like Grayson Allen too.
He's too much. He's a Duke guy. That's what okay. But if Bradley Beal moves, set a screen, go into rotation, pick up the thing. You ever see those games they just show him? He goes and stands in the corner, lights up a cigarette, and hangs out for a while. Yeah. Brutal. Like,
that's
do
his
something.
Bread and butter.
But he can shoot.
Sure.
Well, we're gonna say I'm still gonna say I gotta take the. I'm taking the Wolves in 7.
In 7.
I won't be surprised if Phoenix pulls the upset. I don't think that will be an upset. I think it's just too close if you look at the teams. Because if you look at it really, if you look from 3rd to about 7th or 8th in the Western Conference,
yeah, they're pretty close.
Yeah, the difference is here we go, right? Which brings us to the next series.
Yes, the LA Clippers against the Dallas Mavericks. This is the one that I think is the closely or most evenly matched series of the bunch. Clippers have been pretty consistent since about mid-November, but Dallas, have they turned it up the last month and a half?
Okay, I want your call first then.
Mavs in 7.
I got the Mavs in 7.
Oh,
well,
okay.
I do. I got the Mavs in 7. I just think that I don't know. Kawhi has been just not 100% the last 10 games. Like, if he was playing like January Kawhi, and I heard, this is what I'm going to say, and I'm going to shout out to these overdrive guys, okay? Stick to the hockey, please. I heard Brian Hayes saying, what, you think Kawhi was 2019 Kawhi this year? Buddy, did you see him play the first 50 games in the year? He was arguably the best player in the league with Embiid.
Hayes is obviously not staying up to watch many Clippers
games.
That's
what I'm saying. Like, he just blew off. Well, he completely blows off the Raptors anyways, which I don't like because I don't think he knows that much about. I mean, Hayes is good. He's grown on me. He knows shit about basketball. Bring him in here now. I'll eat him all for breakfast. But to say that Kawhi... Because he left town, you say Kawhi didn't have a good year, that Kawhi's past his best before date and all this shit. Did you see who the guy plays? The question that he had right was his health. You know what I mean? And he was a little banged up. So I'm wondering if these last few games that they sat him on purpose.
I think that's very possible.
I think it's load management. 0.20. Okay?
2.0.
So 2.0. So when Kawhi comes out in the first game, scores 30, 8 steals, and 15 rebounds.
I wouldn't be shocked.
I wouldn't be shocked at all. He has played great. He has played as a time top 5 in the league this year. Every pundit on every show you ever seen, they've all brought up, wow, Kawhi's the real deal.
Yeah.
And not only that, he can defend anybody in a series, and he can be the best player in any series. And we're both taking Dallas.
Yep, agreed. That's just because Luka's been so good too.
Kyrie.
And Kyrie.
And Kyrie did not get it's open-ended now, but Kyrie, is he going to be on the American Olympic team? Have you seen what they've done now with the Olympic team? LeBron called up and said, this is what we're doing. None of those guys have been in practice with the team forever. LeBron called up. Who's going? LeBron, KD, the whole crew.
Curry,
the whole crew is going. So let's see what's going to happen there.
It's going to be interesting.
Especially when they're all getting old and they're all got nagging injuries. What are the owners thinking? Not our problem.
Nope.
And at that point in time, we'd like to say that anything else about the NBA you'd like to bring up?
Thank you to our Toronto Raptors. Wasn't the greatest season, but entertained us nonetheless. And draft lottery is Sunday, May 12th. So we will have our eyes on that.
Number two thing I want to say about this, for all those discouraging people that are that are dragging the Raptors' dick in the dirt, and that includes you, Mr. Brian Hayes. Look at the foundation of this team. They weren't all together to start the season. Darko's going to have them all with a couple of draft picks coming in and perhaps a free agent. I'm going to call right now, like I did at the beginning of this season, and they fell a little bit short. But you know who my guys were this year? Were the Houston Rockets. They got to the door, but they didn't get in. I'm calling for the Toronto Raptors to make the type of move that the Houston Rockets made these in advance on a team next year.
Love it.
Yep.
And also, Jonte Porter banned from the NBA.
I thought when he came out the door, someone should have had those red dots on him. Come on, man. I'm going to get to that, okay? Because I got a little gospel I got to say today.
Okay.
But I'm just going to say this. Just desserts for this mofo. That's all I got to say, but we'll get to it a little bit later. It's just very unfortunate that he took our organization. He played for the Raptors. He didn't play for the Mavericks.
No.
He didn't play for the Knicks. But we'll get to that in a bit. Big shout out to the legalized gambling organizations. That's all I got to say for the moment.
Sure.
Okay?
We'll take this
fuck.
We will take this from the NBA to the NHL. Stanley Cup playoffs, of course, start tonight, but we'll do a little bit of regular season housekeeping, I guess, beforehand. Shout out.
Okay, the theory of I'm going to get all your shout-outs. I'm going to say something first. Hey, Toronto, how you like Boston? Hey, okay.
Better than Florida.
Okay, here. Oh, wow. Okay, go ahead.
First of all, shout out University of Denver winning Frozen 4
Huge.
against BU. BU or BC? I always get
BC,
those.
yeah.
BC?
Boston College.
Boston
Yeah.
College.
Yep.
Congrats, Connor McDavid, Nikita Kucherov for 100 assist seasons. Only the fourth and fifth players to do it in NHL history. And of course, we'd be remiss if we didn't congratulate Austin Matthews on a spectacular goal-scoring season.
Unbelievable. One of the best we've ever seen.
Just because he reached one short did not mean that
the season wasn't insane. So,
exactly. But I mean the Hart Trophy race this year.
I'm still voting for Matthews. If I had a vote, I'm voting for Matthews.
But there's like 7 or 8 players that have a legit claim to the award.
And you didn't even bring up Nathan McKinnon yet.
He'd be my number one.
He's your number one. He's the front runner. And you know what? We've discussed this so we've discussed it, and everyone should realize this, because when we talked about it in our pre-production meeting and shit like this, is like those 4 guys. If there was any other season, there would only be one of those seasons to deal with, which would have automatically make them the Hart Trophy finalist or winner. Okay,
winner.
Looking at it statistically, Kucherov and Matthews both have had better seasons.
Yeah, than when they won the Hart before.
When they already won the Hart before, and this is the first time McDavid. McDavid.
Conor McGregor.
Okay, he's still looking about his bad performance in that silly movie.
Roadhouse?
Yeah, but this is the first time he's got 100 assists in his career too, which is monumental. So people, we're going to be looking in 3 or 4 years, and when we look back, we could be looking at one of the greatest seasons ever in the history of individual performances that didn't get Hart recognition. You know what I'm saying? So if they give Matthews the Selke Trophy, I'm going to call out the Toronto guys. I know Barkov's your boy. But I'm saying if they decide to give it to him as a consolation, I hope that Matthews doesn't even pick the trophy up.
Wow, that's disrespectful.
Because you're going to give it to him, you didn't get the Hart, so here, take this. I'm not second place, man. Like, who remember? I want to come in second.
The Selke is a prestigious award, though.
In context of the Hart?
It's just a prestige. Why do you have to compare it? Just enjoy the achievement.
Okay, listen. This is, you know what? Sometimes on this show, I have to defend things that I shouldn't have to defend. And now I'm defending Toronto Maple Leafs? And Austin Matthews, a player
I don't know.
much.
Whatever. Just because the player didn't get a piece of hardware, that doesn't mean like the player didn't have a great season. It's not memorable.
He's going to get the Rocket anyway.
Well, he got it.
He got the Rocket. Yeah, I mean, he's got the Rocket anyway. But I'm just saying now that was the way that they've come down the stretch. That and let's predict the Toronto-Boston series last, because got a lot to talk about.
Okay, so we'll do West first then.
We'll do the West first, but not.
We got
lots more
house
to
cleaning,
bring up. Keeping tabs on the Habs. Remember, we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah. So Kucherov, Art Ross, Matthews, Rocket Richard, Connor Hellebuck won the Jennings. 199 goals against for the Jets.
Unbelievable.
Under 200. Incredible.
So he should be a Hart Trophy candidate too?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. Gustav Forsling on Florida, plus 56.
Insane. I thought you didn't like plus minus so much.
I mean, what was the last time a guy got a plus minus that high?
Bob Gainey.
It's been a while. It's been a while.
That's another thing that we should add on a spectacular point of the season, because we haven't seen a plus minus that high since when? What was McGregor last year? He wasn't
McDavid?
McDavid, yeah. How many was he last year? He wasn't even close to that.
Not even close.
And even our boy Matthews was only a plus 30, and he's high. Plus 56,
Plus 56.
Insane. That's Lindstrom numbers.
I don't even know if Lindstrom got that high.
I think maybe he did. I know Bob Gainey did one year, but when was that? When I didn't have
70s,
hairs on my balls. You weren't even alive. I don't even. Your dad had hair on his balls. Come on.
So I want to go through some of our preseason picks and see how they went. For the Pacific Division, all four of us, me, you, Steven, and Zach, we all picked Edmonton to win the division. Central, me, Steven, Zach picked Colorado. You picked Dallas.
Thank you.
Metropolitan Division, all four of us picked New Jersey.
I know. Damn.
Atlantic Division, all four of us picked Toronto. President's Trophy, me, Steven, Zach picked New Jersey. You picked Toronto.
Oh, horrible.
Hart Trophy. I mean, this hasn't been announced yet, but we can kind of figure. Two of us picked Jack Hughes. Two of us picked McDavid.
Who did I pick? Jack Hughes, right?
You picked McDavid.
Oh, good. Oh, I was close.
Art Ross, all four of us had McDavid.
No, but, we could have been.
Rocket Richard, me, you, and Zach had McDavid. Steven, shout out, you picked Matthews.
Good man, buddy. But you know what? We'll never pick McDavid ever again for the Rocket. We just
Probably
thought because remember, Matthews only got 40 last year, and everybody wasn't scoring 50 as much as this year. Scoring went up huge this year.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So I'll never pick McDavid to win the Rocket again, ever.
And for our Saturday night pick'em, the final score was 169 for you, 168 for me.
So that means
but we had the same amount of weeks where we won.
Okay, but let's put it this way.
It's crazy tight.
Very good. And let's put it this way. Don't be betting your cat and dogs on some of our procrastinations, okay? Because we should tell the results of some of our weeks when we do.
Sure. Shout out to Steven. You had a tremendous week when you were on, went 12 for 14.
Yes, yeah.
BOH, you were okay last week.
Considering your hockey knowledge is zero.
And Peter was absolutely horrible when he was on.
I forgot about that guy. Is he the Argo guy? Mr. Argo, how you doing? Have you hang out with Marcus Allen lately, or what's the deal? Now, before we get into our playoff
Utah.
Oh yes,
it is official.
I love Ryan Smith even more.
People on Facebook don't seem to, which is crazy. Why is this guy wearing a Jazz shirt? Does he not know where he is? He owns the Utah Jazz, stupid.
I couldn't. When you told me that, I just went, whatever. You know what I think it is? The guy's like a Dennis the Menace kind of guy. When he's got that Dennis the Menace kind of thing about him, which I like.
God, that's so fun. I'm never going to be able to unsee that.
Okay, because doesn't. Why did you laugh? Because you look at the guy, go, hey, is he Dennis the Menace? Because he's kind of
Mormon Dennis the Menace.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So he's just got that in him, but his desire to win. Like you hear him talk.
Oh, they're ready to spend this summer. It's like it's an open secret in the NHL Board of Governors. Watch out for Utah this summer.
And by the way, Klay Thompson is on their list too.
Of course.
But any event, I love this guy because what he is that I'm old. He's new, and he might even be new school, but you cannot deny the passion, desire, and W's. His middle name is, I want to be Ryan W. Smith, and that's for wins.
Hell yes.
And how can you not want to welcome someone that into the league? That being said, The schmuck that owned Arizona. Did you see
Murillo?
his press conference?
No. I don't know.
That's 6 minutes of your time you didn't waste, okay? Now,
well, but hold on. I want to finish up with Utah, though, before we get to the Arizona
okay.
thing.
Well, that's okay. This is probably going to lead into it.
So there's rumors that Utah might not have a team name this year. I think that's a little bit of a smokescreen. It sounds like people are saying that they're more prepared than they're leading on. There's already some names that have been trademarked. Not necessarily the official names, but Utah Blizzard, Utah Venom, Utah Flurry, Utah HC, and Utah Hockey Club have all been trademarked. And the colors, team colors, are expected to come out this week.
And I bet you they're very close to the Phoenix Suns colors. I bet you right now he's that kind of guy.
Phoenix Sun? Utah Jazz?
I mean the Utah Jazz colors.
Yeah, I could see like purple in there.
Yeah, I could see.
NHL doesn't have any purple teams.
They haven't any since the Kings. So I think that's that going there. And I like the Venom. He's that kind of guy that if the name Venom come up and it's one word, it's no S on the end, and they already got the Utah Jazz.
Blizzard kind of fits too because you got the double Z in there too.
Yes, and it's only one word. You know, Toronto used to have a team called the Blizzard.
Soccer team. Yeah, they won the championship.
Yes, way back in the day. I used to beat those guys on squash court all the time. I think I told you that.
No, you didn't.
Pasquale DeLuca and who was the goalie's name? They were in my building. They both played for the Blizzard, and they wanted to build their cardio, so we used to play squash. I used to whip their ass. They'd call me just to say, I'm going to beat you. We're professional athletes, man. I go down and kick their ass every time. Never lost a game. But Blizzard, I think Utah Blizzard I'm going for. I thought Utah Venom was cool, but Blizzard, because they got the skiing thing going on in Utah and all that. So, yeah.
We'll see. Back to Alex Murillo. A lot of people do not believe that he will be able to build that new arena in Phoenix.
That's what I was going to jump in.
I did not realize how not well liked the guy is. Even like talking, because like I guess Coyotes have like the grassroots programs, like the junior Coyotes and I forgot the girls one. It's called Kachinas, I think.
Something like that.
The people who are running the program, or the woman who runs the Kachinas, is like, we don't need this guy's help.
Can we get him out of here?
Basically.
And did you see his press conference? Can I get back to that?
Let's get back to that.
That said to me, buddy, we'll never see you again. He's got 5 years.
But the NHL's still keeping him in the door, kind of. Because I think the Coyotes are like, technically, I guess right now, like, because it's weird, because the Coyotes are going to be able to keep their history, which has never happened in the NHL before, which, by the way, if we're getting to that, like, give the old Jets back their history, right?
Yeah.
Like, why does that belong to the Coyotes?
I don't know.
The Jazz are going to start fresh. So, like, technically, the NHL is a 33-team league right now with one inactive team.
Okay,
which is just bizarre. But
okay, interesting point.
And if they get a team back, they're going to get a sweetheart deal. They're not going to have to pay the $2 billion for an expansion.
Oh,
fee.
stop!
They're going to pay only one.
I think that's only lip service to keep the people in Phoenix happy, because I'm looking at it this way. This guy's...
What people in Phoenix? They hate the NHL.
That's what I'm saying. That's when you heard this guy in the press conference, his press conference was so goddamn shaky that I'm betting he won't have a deal in 5 years, because if he doesn't get the arena built in 5 years, he's off the table.
Right.
So I'm saying if there's another team that does go into Phoenix, I believe it'll be a completely different ownership, because somebody should have got them into Glendale with the ownership of the Phoenix Suns. Scottsdale with the Phoenix Sun. How come they couldn't get in there? Because the Phoenix Suns wanted nothing to do with this guy. The mayor doesn't want nothing to do with this guy. The governor doesn't want nothing to do with this guy. The people call him a pariah, and you're just going to give him an NHL team? I think they're going to wait the 5 years.
Get him out the door.
Get him out the door and say, sorry, buddy, you didn't do it. They already said he's not going to win any fan thing. You know, they put those propositions in the States?
Yeah.
Like how Kansas City voted, no, we're not giving you that. He's got to put that on the table. And then he's got to outbid someone for that prime piece of real estate that he wants to use for the arena.
Well, if he loses that this summer, it's over.
Well, they're already predicting he's going to lose it. So that means that we may never see any Phoenix Suns right now, because that
Phoenix
guy's...
Coyotes.
Okay, so what they're going to do, here's the gospel according to me on this issue. What they're going to do is, if somebody wants to get a team in there, and you like your Atlanta, okay?
My Atlanta.
Okay, what everybody keeps shoving it down. Even I'm out here in random conversations, people bring up Atlanta right away, which drives me nuts. But what they're going to do is, this might open the door for a Canadian team. Because what they're going to do is, they won't give this guy a chance because he can't get the arena built, but they know they got the arena in Quebec. I just think that the whole corrupt, nasty bullshit in Quebec has scarred them so badly that nobody would ever go back. That's what I'm thinking.
I'm worried about that too. And and first of all, like, shout out to the fans in Phoenix. They've had to put up with a lot of bullshit the last 20 years.
And they were a pretty good fan base. Not the greatest, but they were 10,000.
They were being kicked around.
Yep.
Oh, let's put the arena in Glendale where nobody is.
Oh,
You know,
that's
when
why
the arena was in Scottsdale the early years, I don't remember hearing them having trouble selling out.
And that's why do you think Phoenix came there years ago? Because they played a zillion years ago out there. And everyone says, no, that's too far. That's like where Ottawa plays out and where?
Canada.
Canada. It's the same bullshit. Why are you so far away? That's kind of the deal there. I don't see them getting a team. I think that the politics of the game.
Not with this owner.
Yeah, with this, that's what I'm saying. So he's got the first right of refusal, or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's going to get it.
Non-transferable either.
Yeah, so I don't think that he's going to get it. I think they'll ride him out because they really don't want to expand for the next 5 years anyway. There's no talk of expansion. Just that this
it's quietly building, though.
Stop it.
I'm just saying.
Stop it. And don't say Atlanta, because then I'll say Chocolate City, and then we're back to that again, okay?
I didn't say Atlanta, and you already said Chocolate City.
I'm not going to give it up. Houston, you're in the same place, buddy. No hockey team going to Houston. No. It's great markets. But no, don't do it. That's my personal opinion. I think that Phoenix, God bless you, you ain't getting a hockey team, which is going to piss off Barkley. Because big shout out to the crew on TNT last night that said...
It could just happen with a different owner. That's possible,
Oh,
too.
I'm saying, but that'll be over 5 years because
Sure.
they're going to wait this guy out. So maybe other people will be wanting in the door by then because the league can't wait.
Because we all know the NHL wants to be in Phoenix.
The market, fifth largest in North America. Come on. You want to be there. Phoenix Suns is a hugely successful franchise.
Yep.
The Arizona Cardinals, very successful franchise. Arizona Diamondbacks just went to the World Series. Yes, we got a market, not for hockey.
No.
Okay?
We'll keep this moving. So.
No.
No?
Oh, no. We got one little thing to say about hockey. We're going to move into the playoff preview?
No, I wasn't.
Okay, good.
No. First of all, happy trails. Jeff Carter just announced his retirement.
Great career, not a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, it's kind of like
borderline.
Just below.
Yep.
I don't know, though. The Stanley Cups, Olympic gold medal, World Junior gold medal.
100 of those guys out there. Lots of guys.
Like who?
No, Gillen is in the Hall of Fame. Let me just think around now.
Gillen was the first ballot. I think Carter's going to end up getting in.
I don't think he's going to get in.
It's a boys' club, don't forget.
Okay, Corey Perry's going to get in.
Yeah, he's a Hart Trophy winner, 100%.
Okay, let me just think of somebody that played on those teams back then. Is Brad Marchand a Hall of Famer?
Instant Hall of Famer.
God, too bad, that little rat. I'd like to go look at the lineup, but I'm not going to say that.
You could say Mike Richards. But
Richards, another guy.
He was one where his career kind of like fell off. Right after those LA years.
Exactly. So I'm just going to say
Carter had a much more successful career. I think he's going to end up getting in the Hall of Fame. That's my prediction.
Okay, by next year, let's talk about that team then. That's the team that won in Salt Lake City?
Vancouver.
Well,
Carter was on the Sochi team. And Richards was on the Vancouver team.
Okay, let's look at those two lineups by next week. And I'm going to tell you, there's a couple guys on there that made that team that are never going to make the Hall of Fame.
Never say never.
Okay.
I think they might have to wait.
I'm going to look it up to see. Is Ron Ellis in the Hall of Fame?
No. Is he?
Paul Henderson in the Hall of Fame?
I think Paul Henderson should be in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, he's going to get there now because after all this time, he's got to get it for what he did. Come on.
I don't know. It's taken him this long.
Because he wasn't that great of a player. He had a great hard on for a great minute. That's all. I seen Paul Henderson play. He scored 19 goals. You were happy.
Well, he still made Team Canada.
Well, at that particular point in time where that's what we were all about. But we left a lot of players on the shelf because I was a Toronto-based, like Toronto got away with a lot in that time. They got Henderson, they got Ellis, they got who else? Because they were trying to balance it with Montreal because the big fight at that time in 1972, Montreal-Toronto, come on. Think about it, right? Like when they were trying to get playoffs, but that's irrelevant right now, yeah.
What else I want to bring up? Bedard Crosby, Team Canada possibility, and Kyle Dubas, assistant GM.
Yeah, I know. With what's his name? Who is
Rick Nash.
Rick Nash. Good to see Rick Nash back in the game. You know what I mean? Bedard is confirmed with his OHA buddy, right?
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
well, he was West. He wouldn't have been OHA.
I mean, WHL.
Yeah.
His WHL buddy. That's what I mean, his junior player. But Bedard has said he's playing, right?
I haven't seen anything confirmed officially yet.
I keep hearing it. Everybody that says it is. It's the guy. It's Crosby that's on the fence. And if Crosby doesn't.
Come on, Sid.
But if he doesn't owe us nothing. I hope he does just because I get to see him play more hockey. But outside of that, if Sid says
I just want the best possible team, so.
Oh, we all do. But in context of the moon, it's like he doesn't have to do that. It's like LeBron doesn't show up for the freaking national championships. He shows up for the Olympics, right? Like the international stuff. You know what I mean? Was LeBron playing on the team last year? No.
No.
But he's going to be at the Olympics. So that's what I'm saying. If Sid wants to show up at the Olympics, great, which they're going to say is questionable. I hope not. He's still playing top-notch hockey. Just outside of the, if they made the playoffs, he'd have to get some MVP consideration.
Of course.
For his season. He still had a great season. He scored 90 points.
He might even be top 10 in voting when all said and done. We'll see.
Oh, I think he should be. He had a great season.
He's
He
going to get some
dragged
votes.
that sorry-ass team with that Malkin, cherry-picking, lazy-ass Russian all the way to the line, and they didn't get there.
No.
Okay.
Quick shout-out to TJ Brody. Finally got a goal in the last game of the regular season.
Oh, we're going to talk about Brody.
And your Montreal Canadiens, congratulations to the future 25 goal scorer Slavkovsky for hitting 20 this year.
Thank you very much. In the beginning of the season, you wouldn't have said he scored 10.
Did I say that?
You would have said probably worse. I'm checking the tape.
I don't know.
You're
20
nice
goals
guy.
isn't that far-fetched.
You were saying that Nyes, he couldn't even wear nice skates at the beginning of the season. Now, what are we looking at? A potential 40-goal scorer. You heard it here first.
Okay.
Because we keep tabs on the Habs. But the number one thing is Slavkovsky. I want to say that. Is there any other things you want to put in there before we get to the playoff preview?
No, that's it.
Okay, because the other thing that we've finally gotten to is my boy Logan has played in the NHL. He has arrived. I am so happy. So, buddy, listen to me closely. No more dick pics. No more showing any of the girls that are going to be jumping on you because you're in Montreal now. And you wear a Hab jersey. Earth girls are easy, buddy. So you already made the mistake. You're a big boy. He would have been an all-star in the AHL this year, or is he going to be voted an all-star AHL defenseman this year? That's up for grabs because he had a great season down in the AHL. I think it's very smart marketing by Montreal because where the team was going, but now he's already played, got an assist, great play. You see that he looked solid out there, didn't he? He's big boy, eh? Big boy. Okay, so that tells me that, like I said, I'm going to make one more comparison. The Montreal Canadiens will be the Houston Rockets of the NHL next year with that defensive court and with the two goalies. I don't know about our scoring. I'm not so sure about our scoring, but we will have a back
Unless
end.
you guys win the draft lottery, which is a possibility. Fifth best odds.
Stranger things have happened.
Yeah, you can fall as low as 7th, but I really don't see you guys falling below 6th. So you'll have a good pick.
Oh, yeah, we should be able to. And we've got a couple extra. I think we've got 4 or 5 picks in the first 2 rounds. Something stupid like that. So it should be okay.
You guys have a bunch of seconds, I believe.
Yeah, but anyways, Logan Mayo, welcome to the show. You're going to be with our guy Aberjackie, Gooley. Who am I missing now on our defense? All under 25, bro. All under 25, big skating, forward the puck up the middle. Don't do any Brody donuts behind the net bullshit.
Okay.
I got it?
We'll get to Brody. But
certainly
we'll finally get to our playoff prognostication. We will begin with the Western Conference.
Yes, we should.
First up, we'll start with the Central.
Wait. Before we get there, didn't you think there was some weird, I don't know how to put it, performances by some teams?
I'm not buying into any of this conspiracy garbage.
I'm not saying any conspiracy. I'm just saying that.
No, but people are throwing it out there.
But some weird shit happened.
It's end of the season hockey. There's always weird shit.
Edmonton jumped up in the morning and go, we got LA! So stop it. Come on. They're like, what would they have said? Oh, God, we got Vegas. What would they have said?
They wouldn't have been happy.
I heard they cracked beers and did shots. We got LA. Would you be careful what you wish for just because you beat them in the last 2 years? You know what I'm saying? But some weird shit went on. Look, we're talking the last 70, and you know what? Gary Bettman and the boys.
It was looking like Florida, Toronto until the very last couple days.
Look at the what's it, machinations? Is that the word? That went on just in the last week to establish what we're going to see this weekend. It was insane. And what people were saying, what they were doing, who matches up, what goes where. Everyone's scared of Vegas.
Sure.
Everyone was scared of Vegas. So that's why I'm saying, come on. Edmonton didn't do cartwheels. They were jumping. Did you see McDavid? And what did they do? They sat everybody against the Abs.
Yeah.
Sat up in the press box, all smoking weed and drinking beers, looking at the score. When they seen the score, did you all see them? They all started smiling. I said, be careful what you wish for, though.
Sure.
Okay, let's go forward. What?
Let's get this train moving.
Okay.
So we'll start off with the Central. First off, Dallas against Vegas. Conference finals in the first round, baby.
Oh, it's unbelievable. We got this set up. I'm taking Dallas all the way.
This is going to be a scrap and a half.
Oh,
Vegas looks to be healthy. It looks like Pietrangelo will be coming back.
And Stone. And Hurdle.
Yeah, well, we knew Stone was coming back.
But the thing is everybody's coming back for Dallas too. That means Sagan, who was hurt, is playing again, and
Sure.
The defenseman's coming back. So there too. So that's two big teams skating hard. I'm not advocating fighting, which has completely lost its mind in the NHL this year. I predict this series has some scraps.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Dallas has been one of the best teams all year in Vegas. We know they can.
And they have. Look at some of the personalities on both teams. There's a little bit of a wick and a match in this one here. And I think it's going to go a few games. Like, I'm not surprised if it's going to go 6 or 7. I've got Dallas in 7.
I got the Golden Knights in 7.
You got Vegas in 7?
I'm taking the upset.
Because that's what happens in the NHL sometimes. I'm taking Dallas. I think Dallas is strong enough, big enough on defense that they're going to say no, man.
It's a shame this has got to come this early.
Oh, it's a sin. But I think another thing is I think the goaltending on Dallas has been a little better down the stretch.
Yes, Andre has been much better.
You're damn right. And I think that could be the difference because the defense is about the same. I really think Dallas has got a little bit more on the offensive end advantage over Vegas, and
slightly, if any.
Nothing more. But one of the key things is the special teams numbers on Dallas look a little better on Vegas.
Yes.
Okay, but then again, Vegas are going to say we had some injuries, we got our guys back, so that's going to improve our PK, and it's going to improve it. But Dallas has been this way all year, and I think they're top 5 in the power play, aren't they? I believe so.
I think they're like top 5, top 10 in both.
In both, yeah. So
I give
them that advantage.
Yeah.
Fair
enough.
On the goaltending and special teams. And
But
I don't expect a high-scoring series.
But special teams, Vegas, they've been kind of around average, even with all those injuries. So I expect that to rise up a little bit.
I expect it to rise up, especially when you're bringing Stone and Hurdle back on a regular thing. And I think they've already practiced their power play a million times before they got to the playoffs. So they know that that's going to be the lineup they send out there. Fabulous series to start the playoffs.
Absolutely.
Fabulous series. Too bad one of them's got to go home. It's the time we go 1-8 again. Well, you
look at it, the matchups wouldn't have been that different. So
no, not really. They say different in the East, but not in the West.
Even in the East, I think it's still matched up pretty much the same. Okay. We'll keep it in the West, in the Central, with another matchup of, unfortunately, one team that's got to go out in the first round. Winnipeg and Colorado. Jets look really good, but the Avs are going to slaughter them on special teams. The question is, how long can the Jets drag out this series with good old-fashioned hard-nosed game and a good 5-on-5 game?
You got an interesting point there, because that's the one thing that I've just talked about special teams in the other series. Winnipeg, even though they're coming in with an 8-game winning streak, and not only that, the percentages on the PK went up and their power play percentages went up. But that's a very small sample size from an 82-game schedule. But maybe this is the time you do the tighten up. I'm not sure. But I agree with you that Colorado, just their power play alone, could be the difference in this series.
Well, both their special teams, I think their power play is top 5, and I think their penalty kill is still top 10.
Colorado?
They might both be top 5. Colorado, yeah.
And
Winnipeg, both their power play and penalty kill are both in the 20s. So
are they? I thought their PK went up. I know their power play.
No, they're still 21st or something.
Wow, I'm taking the Avs too. Avs in 7.
I'll take Avs in 6.
Okay, and you know what's really a drag? I don't want to be betting against Canadian teams, but
neither do I.
Okay, continue.
But it looks better for the other Canadian teams, at least in my book. Vancouver versus Nashville. We're now in the Pacific Division. Demko is back. Preds are really good, but I think they've peaked. Home ice is going to be huge in this series, though. Decent chance that I think it's a decent chance that both teams are going to be tied 2-2 after 4. But I think Nashville turns into a good old-fashioned series, but I cannot see them winning. Canucks in 6.
Okay, I loved everything you said except for the end result. I'll flip the coin. I'm taking the Preds to upset Vancouver.
I knew you were going to take Nashville.
Damn right I am. I'm a Josie guy. I'm a Yossi guy. And they got McDonough back there with them too. And they got guys that can score. And they got a great goaltender. And their special teams are solid. Aren't they top 5 in penalty kill? They're up there, or top 10. They're up there. Check them out. I'm just saying that Nashville took a long time to get that train rolling, and they've been steady down this. Look at their beginning.
But since that big streak, though, they've kind of fallen back down to earth if you look at their record.
A little bit of that, but then again, you look at it. Also, look at their first 20 games. We weren't even giving them the time of day.
But they're still hanging in a playoff spot then.
But now they put the gear in, and they fixed the engine, got a new carburetor. I'm just saying this. Vancouver, I don't know what Demko is going to be. He's back, but he hasn't had any game shape.
Yeah, he got in a game at the end.
So what?
Against Edmonton.
Okay. Oh, so what? What happened?
They got the win.
Okay, well, yeah, okay, whatever. I'm just saying I hope Vancouver does win. I'm just saying I think that they had a better season than anybody expected. They've already blown their load, and they're ripe to be taking a team. Like the Predators have looked just as good in the last 30 games as Vancouver.
I know. I think you're underestimating Rick Tocchet in that dressing room.
I hope that too, but buddy, that coaches the Predators. He's
no disrespect. I just think
he's
they're
been there
outmatched.
too, and he's
I think
always
they're
had him
outmatched.
there.
Canucks are a much better team.
Okay, we're gonna see. I'm taking the
Canucks
Preds
in 6.
Okay, I'm taking the Preds in 6.
Oh, it's 6. Wow.
Yep.
Edmonton against LA, the final Western Conference series in the first round. Both teams have had up and down seasons, of course, but the Oilers have been the Kings' kryptonite for a couple of years now, and the Oilers have almost secretariated their way to the division title.
Yep.
I'm going to take the Oilers in 6.
I got the Oilers in 6 too, and I'm really feeling bad because I hope Drew Doughty and his boys really put up a fight, but I don't think they like McDavid's on a mission with Draisaitl.
Yeah.
They got Corey Perry on their third line, who's already made his presence known in the dressing room,
Sure.
which is cool. So just think about this: Corey Perry went from being a pariah type individual in one part of the country to going to a new country, back to his old country, and he could be sitting there going around with a Lord Stanley on his shoulder. Like, wouldn't that be hilarious? Like, look at this man season.
Yeah.
If the Oilers were happen to win the Stanley Cup. So I
Long
think,
way to go, but
long way. And I think they're going to beat LA. I think the biggest disappointment in the first round would be the Oilers losing to LA.
wow.
I think because I don't think see anything else going there. Like, well, Washington going to win, but we'll get that. Okay, so no, that would be the biggest one.
Well, let's go right there. Eastern Conference, Metropolitan Division, New York Rangers, the President's Trophy winners. Though that carries a terrible curse, the President's Trophy. Let's not forget.
Oh, I know that. And we'll talk about them in the second round, but for now, they're sweeping them.
Capitals are in over their head, but they're playing their best hockey right now. I still think the Rangers are too good for them. I do not think this is going to be a sweep.
5?
Rangers in 5.
I got it here, Rangers in 5, because I think the whole Washington thing will blow a load in Game 4 and keep them alive and then go home and get their ass kicked and go home. But if Washington turns it into a dogfight, but I don't think Washington's physical enough anyway.
No, I don't think so.
The type of team, because that's the only way you're going to have to get real physical with New York to do them, because they're not, I'm not saying they're a dipsy doodle team, but you know what I mean? They're a skating team, and they got
Offense
great
goals have been a little bit of a problem for Washington this year, too.
Oh, yeah,
so.
and Rangers are top 5 scoring team in the league. So,
and even if the Rangers have their goalie go down, they got Jonathan Quick, who's been really good this year.
Oh, there you go. So they got the 2 system. I can't see that going more than 5 games.
No. Carolina versus the New York Islanders. The Islanders have found their way, and this could be more of a mismatch than people think, since Carolina, they have that kind of dump and chase style. That can fall right into Islanders' hands.
Yes.
But, and I do think the Islanders will extend the series, but the Islanders have the worst penalty kill in the entire league.
And their power play has just only risen up since St. Patrick. Yeah, by a modicum, because since their PK hasn't improved.
St. Patrick hasn't been able to fix that.
No, but their power play went up a modicum.
Yes.
Yeah, that's all. But so they make it change it. But they got guys that can score in the Islanders. That's why I wonder why their power play is so whatever.
That's weird.
It's because they got Brazel and who else?
Barzal, Horvat, Anders Lee.
Yeah.
Dobson on the back. They should have a good power play.
And they don't. And who's the other guy? Fox? No, not Fox.
No,
he's Rangers. He was the other guy besides Dobson. They got another good defenseman on the Islanders. In any event, like you say, when you got the guys that are playing like that, you'd figure that their power play would a little bit more. When I seen that number, I went, oh.
I did not realize they had the worst penalty kill in the league.
I didn't even know it until about 3 days ago when I was just scrolling numbers just to see what everyone's doing. I go, where are the Islanders? Where are the Islanders? Where? Oh.
You have to use the search function.
Yes, I'm going down because you figure a team in the playoffs. You know what I mean? You scroll down. Where are they? They must be in maybe middle of the. Oh, there they are. That's huge in the playoffs.
Oh, absolutely. Less 5-on-5 goals.
So that being said, I'm taking. I really was thinking, because I love St. Patrick so much that I said I can't be stupid. And I'm taking the Canes in 6.
I was thinking about taking the Islanders early on when I started my research, but I'm going to take the Hurricanes in 6 as well.
Okay, so you looked at the numbers like I did, right? You took a look and said no, because you know what? We'd be contradicting ourselves with the other things that we said about other teams and special teams.
Absolutely.
And then when we say, oh, the Islanders are going to be great, and ignore something that we've been talking about. No, sorry, St. Patrick. And if you do it, that means that
kudos.
They flip the coin. I mean, or they flip the switch, whatever the case may be. But we're definitely on the Canes bandwagon, and I wouldn't be surprised if they get momentum going. We talk in the next round. Depends on how I see the Canes play with Gunsell. Bad trade on Getzel. Bad trade now for Pittsburgh, eh?
Although Bunting's been a pretty good fit in Pittsburgh, though.
And a playoff, he has been. That's right. He hasn't been too bad. Because you know what? I bet you now they could have kept him. Bunting's is still going to make money in Pittsburgh, but
he still got a contract. Gensel's a free agent. I think that was the crux of that. But either way, moving on to the Atlantic, Florida Panthers are taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning, their third playoff meeting in the last 4 years, I believe. Tampa can drag this out into a dogfight, especially with their special teams, top 5 in both power play and penalty kill. But Florida's no slouch in either of those departments, top 10 in both. But I don't see them winning since they're so mismatched or overmatched. Cats in 7.
I got the Bolts in 7. I think that they're going to pull the upset. I think what's going to happen is better goaltending. I think
Bobrovsky's been great this year.
But I think one Russian's going to be better than the other Russian. That's what I'm looking at. So
why can't the Florida Russian?
He had it last year. He had his turn last year. He's coming back.
Vasilevsky had it the 2 years before that.
Well, we know that, but here's what I'm thinking too. I think that Florida, even though they got Reinhart as a 40-goal scorer, a 50-goal scorer, they've got Barkov leaving that line too, and they've got Montour on the back, who's a great offensive defenseman. And Kachuk,
Tarasenko. They picked up Okposo.
But I like the back end on Tampa Bay better. With Hedman and that crew, I like it a little bit better. And you know what? Stamkos, Point, and all those guys, they've been around. They know, and none of those guys are old. I just got a feeling that
Stamkos is getting up there.
Scored 40 goals, bro. Still scored 40. But the bottom line is I look at it this way. There's weird things that happen from year to year in sports. Like nobody expected. Florida was down 3-1. You know, in a series against against Boston.
The greatest regular season team of all time.
You got it. And look they stole that, and then they had a big hard on, and they raced their way there. They've had some nagging injuries and some little things that have been like down the stretch we thought were more solid they ended up winning. They going ahead against Boston. But I'm still saying I think Boston put it on cruise control, so we won't know. I'm still I just got a gut feeling Tampa Bay's experience is going to be better than the Panthers' experience. And oh, by the way, I've been kissing Tampa Bay's ass since preseason.
It's funny. You had Florida missing the playoffs. I had Tampa missing the playoffs.
I know. And look at now they're playing each other.
Funny how that works out. Either way, I'm sticking with Florida in 7.
Okay. That should be a great series. They're going to be. They're going to sharpen sticks in that series too. You know, another series I see fights. That's another series I can see some fights going. I don't see fights in some of the other series. I don't see fights in the Rangers series much, and stuff like that. But I do see fights in this series. Yep. The Florida thing, the anger, the this and that, whatever.
And last but not least, it's the Boston Bruins and the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Okay, I'm glad we got here. No.
I got a line. Asking Leaf fans if they wanted Boston or Florida is like asking us if we wanted a punch to the face or a kick to the balls. I'll leave you to decide which one is which, but
I'm going to look at it this way. This hockey base in this city sometimes, the reason you haven't had nothing since 1967 is because you're all freaking fickle. We'll take Florida. You're all loud. We got this. Matthews going for 70 goals.
We want Florida stuff. That was a bunch of stupid teenagers. That was indicative of the fan base. Okay, but they were also chanting, "We want Boston." No one talks about that.
That was very minor. But I'm going to go by how much hockey coverage is in this city. More than the Prime Minister gets, okay? More coverage than the Prime Minister. What happened was everybody was so sure about playing Florida in the first round. When it suddenly came up Boston, crickets. And
I don't think that's true at all.
Oh, everybody got a little quiet. I didn't see all that moxie. Like, we're ready for Florida. We got tough. We're going to be better than last year.
Who was saying that? What Leaf fan was saying they wanted Florida? I want to meet these people.
I'm going to go on. I trolled some sites where they were saying some stuff. I'd never joined them, but the Leafs are more scared of the Bruins than Florida to me. That's the vibe I'm getting.
No.
Oh, yeah, you're good. No. You're a good Leaf guy. You're standing up for the Shield. You're saying, fuck that. But I'm saying this. The mood in the city went, I can tell. I'm going to tell you this, okay? I walk my dog through the neighborhood. I find about 5 guys that are over 50. They've been watching hockey as long as me. One of the guys found out at a podcast. So now every time we stop with our dogs, we have our little chats.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think of the Jays? All this kind of stuff, eh? Then we get to the Leafs. I've called them all schmucks. What happened, guys? Real quiet about your Maple Leafs now. No buts. You guys are pretty loud last week. We're going to do. All of a sudden, Boston showed up, and you all got quiet. So my feet are on the ground in the neighborhood called Etobicoke, which they say is the genesis of Leaf Nation. And these are old fans, and they all got quiet.
No, come on.
I'm picking the Toronto Maple Leafs to beat Boston in 7 games.
Here's the thing.
After all of that,
thing.
I'm picking Boston. And everyone knows why I'm picking Toronto.
You have no love for the Bumblebees.
None.
But here's the thing. The Leafs have more offensive depth than ever before with this group.
Physical, just as physical.
Yes. And despite popular belief, scoring, not defense, has been the Leafs' issue in the playoffs in years past.
Exactly. Okay.
So I'm not worried about TJ Brody. I'm not worried about whatever. I'm worried about who's going to score the big goal at the big time. Because that's what the Leafs need.
That's right. So it's time for the Matthews.
And we finally have the lineup that can do that.
I think you do too. But here's what I'm going to say is what you're going to have to do. And I'm going to say this from all year. I want to see tonight, if they already called in a lineup yet, I bet you they haven't even got the Leafs lineup for tonight, have they? Let's take a look. They're not putting that out yet. They're waiting till game time. They're going to play all that bullshit.
Well, you can see who was at the morning skate.
They're all at the morning skate. I'm saying this.
No, but what the lines are at the morning skate.
If the Toronto Maple Leafs have any balls, Brody will be in the breast box for tonight's game. That's all I'm saying. You gave the guy enough there. Who are you going to sit down? You going to sit down Benoit? No.
So there's line rushes from yesterday that are out.
That's yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust that with, I wouldn't trust that. I'd trust a crack hole more than I'd trust that. Come on. No, I want to know who their defensemen are. I want to know okay, you tell me who should start tonight, and then we'll go
I
from
can
there.
tell you the 6 that are out there looks like it's going to be the 6 that start.
Brody's one there?
No.
I'm liking things better. Nothing.
Riley, Lyubushkin, Benoit, McCabe, Edmondson, Liljegren.
That sounds good to me. And you know what? Even if they had to throw in Giordano in there, then I would have been glad with that. I
agree.
Okay, you know what's going to happen is if they run into a mistake, they can bring Brody back, and that maybe will put fire under his ass and get him going. That's how I'm kind of looking at it this way.
Although he could factor into the lineup tonight, and I wouldn't be shocked.
100%.
Reputation move.
Exactly. But I'm saying you don't want to go by reputation move. You should be going by what you have seen. Let's not talk analytics or anything like now. You and I have watched the game. Some of them I've watched twice just to see what's going on. The eye test.
I'm not that crazy.
Oh, I am, because I want to know everything about these Leafs do. I don't want to know when they go to the bathroom. I don't want to know their girlfriends. But I watched on the ice how this game has gone, and Brody is not one of their 6 best defensemen that I've seen in the last 20 games. So I'm rewarding the guys that have deserved that position because they're out there playing their asses
Namely
off.
Benoit.
Benoit, number 1. And how long have I been championing that guy? Come on. And not only that, he's got the physicality that you need.
Yep.
He's more physical than Brody.
Decent puck mover, too.
He's gotten way better on it. And who's going to be his line mate in the...
McCabe, it looks like.
There you go.
First of all, shout out to him for blocking that shot with his face. Just an animal.
Oh, isn't that's...
And he, down the stretch, I think he's been sneaky good.
Very good. That's what I was going to say. And I think that's going to be the last minute of the game when you're protecting a lead. I think those 2 will be out there first. More than Riley, than Lyubushkin. You know what I'm saying? Sure. I think those 2 will be there. They're both nasty. They both fire the puck. They both hit people, and they both shoot the puck.
Yeah.
That's huge on there. So I can't believe I'm saying this, but yes, I can. 7 games, the Toronto Maple Leafs will beat the Boston Bruins since the year I was born. And I had to be alive because the playoffs, I was born in March. So I had to be alive when the last time the Boston Bruins got beat by the Toronto Maple Leafs.
It'll happen again.
And I bet you Frank Mahovlich was on that team. And for a long time, Frank Mahovlich was one of my favorite hockey players, who was one of the few guys that was a Leaf and a Hab that won a Stanley Cup with both teams. Which is kind of interesting. You know what I mean?
Yep. No Chara, no Bergeron.
No Krejci.
No Krejci. No Tuukka Rask.
No Tuukka Rask.
However, so
Forget
this is far from
ghosts.
this is far
Forget
from
the ghosts. This is
I'm going somewhere with this.
Oh, okay.
This is far from the best team Boston has had in the modern era. However, this is still Boston, Toronto. But Toronto's going to have to beat Boston eventually.
Lakers are going to have to beat the Nuggets eventually.
They've had their chance. That's okay. This is going 7 games. If you don't think this is going 7 games, you're a fool. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. No, dogfight of dogs.
Leafs got to do it.
Let's go.
Leafs in 7. Let's go.
The house that happens is fully committed to the Toronto Maple Leafs getting to the conference finals. Is that our belief? And I'm no Leaf guy.
We might need Tampa to help upset Florida for a little bit help with that, because I still don't like.
I know you're scared of them. And you know what's really happened then, before we go any further and we get down the road, is I'm walking my dog all the time. Everybody knows my neighborhood. I do about 10 clicks a day with my dog. And people now, one guy said, hey, he has a podcast. This guy said, that guy's a podcast. They've all listened. I told him to check their name in. But here's the funny part. Anytime I have to get into a discussion about who they're playing and now what the playoffs is, they always have one caveat about me, and I don't like it.
You're a Habs fan?
They see my Habs gear. You're wearing Habs gear, man. How sincere are you? So I'm talking about Matthews hoping I got 70 goals. One of my neighbors thought I was completely joking. He thinks that I didn't have we didn't want me to, he thought I was clowning him. And I said, go listen to the podcast. He went and listened to an episode. He gave me the time of day.
Okay.
He says, okay, I'm going to get it. Number one thing about Toronto, okay, I've been living in this city now for 43 years. I've seen all the last history of what's going on here. The number one thing about Toronto winning in the spring that I like is that the city is happier, better for business, more people out in the bars, new boys meeting new girls, all kinds of crazy ass shit happening, and people are going to talk about it, and it's a better spirit for the team. Because why else do we have favorite teams and city franchises? Because you want to get the mood of the city.
Oh, sure.
You know what I mean? So good luck, Toronto. We're going to find out tonight, the first game at my house in the man cave, and here we're going to go.
I'm actually really happy that Toronto's starting this series on the road. I think it would have been a nervous building if they start game 1 against Boston at home. But even if you come back to Toronto for game 3 with the split,
crowd will be nuts.
Yeah.
And that's another thing we want to
show. But Toronto at home the last couple years in the playoffs has been another reason for worry. So, yes. I mean, boys, let's clean that up this year.
I just want to say this. I want to see that Toronto crowd that's losing it. Like, bring your crowd. Like, they call it a home ice advantage for a reason, people.
Yeah, like, when was the last time you saw, like, a happy Toronto playoff crowd? Like, when we lost that series to Washington, maybe they got a standing ovation after they lost Game 6 because no one expected them to be there.
Exactly. I remember that. Who was the coach then?
Babcock.
Oh, yeah, Babcock was still the coach then. Oh, yeah. We don't like bringing him up, do we?
I mean, we can.
No.
Okay, you don't want to bring it up. That's up to you.
Anyways, to make a long story short, we're a big house that happens here. We want to see if the Toronto Maple Leafs go as far as they can.
And now it's time for my favorite segment, your favorite segment, everyone in the world's favorite frickin' segment. It's the Gospel According to Cruz.
Okay. Dear Planet, just touching base on a few things that keep me absolutely fascinated by the fantastic things I get to witness in this wacky world of sports. The great thing about sports is the variety of games one can prioritize to satisfy one need to enjoy the highest level of competition. Personally, I'll probably pass on the International Darts Championships, and I'll probably miss every Daytona 500 for the rest of my life. However, I respect things like the Australians for creating their own kind of football, which they have nationalized to immense popularity, and I often attempt to understand more about cricket, but I never seem to have the time to watch some 3-day test match. So I immerse myself into the 4 biggest professional sports leagues in North America, and as long as I can add a serious dose of golf, tennis, and a premium amount of college athletics to go with it, I'm good. I mean, look, we just got over the magnificence of March Madness, which always leads into the Masters, which I find myself spending countless hours watching a bagload of golfers playing 72 holes. And now it's the time of year we begin the NBA and the NHL playoffs. The only thing better is probably the road to the Super Bowl. However, with a lot more games and probably a lot more drama, I will get the opportunity to validate that the first time round of the Stanley Cup playoffs is usually more entertaining than the house husbands of the NBA. And what makes these events more enticing is the fact that you can place a few of your hard-earned dollars on the results of your favorite team. So in the event that your team wins, so do you. I must say I do enjoy betting on games. In fact, of all the sports I just mentioned, can I explain my financial participation? Well, I entered 3 brackets into the NBA college basketball tournament. I had a 6-golfer parlay placed on the Masters, and I'm quite sure I'll be parlaying the playoff games about to be decided in the NHL and the NBA. I'm not rich, nor am I frivolous when it comes to this gambling adventure, and I can't remember spending more than $30 a week in the year of 2024 on pro-line bets. You know, $2 here, $5 there, to add some personal drama and a little more fun in my pursuit to experience the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. Of course, the very next day, I'm back to the reality of continuing in this journey we call birth, school, work, death. Jonte Porter is a moronic scumbag who tainted the enjoyment of wagering on a sporting event. If you don't know this loser, he was a 10-day contract player for the Toronto Raptors who took time to personally manipulate a game for personal financial gain. Fortunately, he was outed and now banned forever playing in basketball in the NBA for the rest of his life. Porter had the unmitigated audacity to trigger prop bets in order for $80,000 to make $1 million. They say his personal gain was only $21,000, which makes him a bigger loser on the books. But I want to say, what was his take on that million, which was immediately flagged by the legal betting operation? It's been a long time since I bet point spreads off the back of a coffee truck, and legalized gambling has firmly jumped into bed with every type of sporting event. However, just a whiff of a player tanking a game to affect an outcome is dangerous to the infrastructure of any sport. Like I said, a lot of us like to put a few shekels on the game for a resourceful and entertainment purposes, but no one likes to be ripped off. In a world of illegal gambling, the participants in this scam would probably have ended up dead. I mean that. They would have been dead. The fact that gambling is legal gives the bookies a chance to fly highly suspicious transactions and maintain the integrity of the games. And if we ever lost the integrity of the games, there would be no point in watching, and that takes a lot away from this thing I love called so much sports. This Porter schmuck has really added insult to his family, where his brother, Michael Porter Jr., is playing for the Denver Nuggets, who are trying to defend their NBA championship, while another brother is on his way to jail for vehicular homicide. How do you like that one? In my opinion, gambling is the worst addiction. It is not like a drug addict or alcoholic hitting bottom for being addicted. A gambler always believes in the next bet. Well, we all seen how this worked out for Harvey Keitel in The Bad Lieutenant, correct? In any event, I'm content with knowing that legalized gambling has established fail-safes to protect the integrity of the game. This Porter schmuck got his just dessert, and anyone ever attempting to manipulate or fix a game should be treated the same way. I mean, regardless of what you think of Shoeless Joe or Pete Rose, they ain't never entering the Hall of Fame. I said it before and I'll say it again. Something bad will continue to happen in sports gambling. Just ask Shohei Ohtani. However, let's hope the powers that be continue to be vigilant in protecting the integrity of the games. For sport is great entertaining pastime for millions of sports fans, including myself. And I never want the thrill of watching live sporting events ever to be destroyed by the acts of a small minority of criminals.
Well said.
Thank you very much. And I hope everybody understands that. Gamble, what do they say? Play within your limits.
Gamble responsibly.
Gamble responsibly, and I'm going to be out today putting my money down on pro line before the game starts. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Is there anything else we want to bring to the table?
That is just about it. Go Leafs, go.
I'm not going to go that far, but
I will.
I'll probably put a shekel or two on the game tonight. Once again, we want to thank everybody who takes the time to listen to us go on and on about the things that we love so much about these game of sports.
Yeah. Follow us on social media. We're on everything. Give us a like, give us a comment, give us a shout out. Share us if you like us that much.
Thank you.
We love you.
Very much. And you know what the time of day, you know what this means now, right?
What's that?
Hi, my name is Cruz.
And I'm Andrew Milani.
And what do? We
keep the vibe alive. You can find The House That Happens on Podbean, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeart Radio, Player FM, Samsung, Podchaser, Boomplay, YouTube, and SoundCloud. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at The House That Happens, and follow us on Twitter at House Happens. You can also shoot us an email at thehousethathappens@gmail.com.